ready? Call your mama, call your papa, call your friends. The festivities are about to begin. Boom! Are you ready? Call your mama, call your papa.
Jose.
All right, is the intro over?
No. I can't post.
You can't post. What the hell? Type something in the spam chat and I can check it out. Shout out to everybody. We are here live in August the 1st of 2022. August 1st, 2022. You all said, Brian. And we are live in the boom. The globe cold is on. You should be able to post back now in the uncensored room. You all said. Shout out to Truth Nurse, Black Sabbath, Devil Advocate, Mr. Malord, Real Cygnus, Lori Letiaho, Justin Franks, Kuzo, and Frogwin, all in the house. Thank you for coming in. Please like this show, hit the like, and support via PayPal or Super Chat. I'm in a really tough situation. I had to use a little bit of money that I had left for a little emergency that I had, and I'm like super short for the electric bill. The due date is like now, like the 31st, like yesterday, but I got like till the 5th. So I got 5 days to accumulate certain amount of money. I don't know. Hopefully you guys can help me out and we'll be able to do it. I'm sorry I wasn't here for the past few days. I was first helping my sister and I wasn't well myself. I was a little under the weather. It wasn't bad. It was just a little flu type of virus thing. Just those stomach fucked up, a little shaky and fever, but no big deal. Back up on my feet. I've been eating well. At least that's good. And yeah, ready to business. Oh, Brian, there was I think the last time that you posted something like this. Gotta be the rumpus. Yeah, let's not do that. Let's not try to speculate. When certain people try to figure out, people's real names and real careers or none of that shit, and we'll be safe. And I know it was kind of a fun thing, but listen to him because you know what I heard yesterday? I found something. I found a person that sounds exactly like Brenda. And I said, dude, this got to be Brenda, but I don't think it is. I don't, it's not. It's a guy that speaks exactly like Brenda, but I mean, what good is it going to make me to share that? What if it's really Brenda, And I can get in trouble, the channel and everybody else can get in trouble for, I mean, in a fun way, it's doxing, in a harmful, we don't intend to do harm, but what if the is the real person that we actually find somewhere else and we just give away their actual information that they try to hide from this corner of the YouTube? They want to be these characters and personas over here on the YouTube, and they don't want to mix their personal life with this. So I respect that. Well, let's all do that. Shout out to Brian Mavitt in the Discord server daily. Boom, Chaik, Farmer's Boy, Mr. Malort, Nestle Wipes, and the Cheap Professor. If anybody else want to join, we have a link in the description box. Hit me up over there and join Discord Daily Boom. M2M, 10 pounds super chat. M2, thank you so much, man. I appreciate it. Hope it helps a little. This helps a little. The Earth is a globe, and we went to the moon. Get over it. Thank you very much, M2, and I really appreciate your support, man. What do you guys have, man? Floor is all yours. I'm about to share screen, and we'll get some memes, or we got some articles, we got some evidence. Anything kind of goes. Hopefully, we got some good evidence to present, whatever observations or sciencey stuff, experiments, whatever it is. Take it away. Kaboom. Shout out to Ben Delight Martin. I'll shut up now.
Hello, everyone.
Mr. Mabrort is here, bro.
Glad you're doing well, Jose. I was worried about you.
Thank you very much. Yeah, I appreciate it. Yeah, it was a few days, a long weekend that I couldn't be here, man. I pop
Okay.
in on and off, in the YouTube. I was on my phone checking around yesterday in the afternoon. I was able to pull my computer, but it was like too late. I said, I'm not gonna do a show. It's like really too late. But yeah, we good pushing through it, man. Just the economic side, it's a little tough to complete the bills. And I got a few applications around. There's a new business opening like next door. I'm waiting, hoping, fingers crossed that
Don't
I get
you
a call
dare
from
take
that.
a job to take away my free entertainment.
Right, I'm telling
Your
you, man.
ability to eat takes away from my free entertainment.
I'm telling you, man. I'm telling you. Yeah. And I wish actually in the beginning I did okay. I was making a few $100s, which it was enough for me to pay a few bills and help around in the rent and help around in here. But now it's like, almost nothing. And it's a little bit of my fault. I'm not here in the daily basis, but I don't have the biggest audience that I used to have in my previous channel with it. I had a double the amount of people, so I had a little bit of double the amount of support. I had a little more money coming in. Now it's not much. It helps me, hopefully, and I'm really counting on you guys that I can at least complete my electric bill this time. We got it close. We got it. I got 5
Well,
days.
you have super
do it.
thanks on your videos. Like sometimes I watch them.
I
old.
do.
Okay, I didn't know if you did.
I do have super things. The super chat. That's the super chat I get once a month. So for whatever I'm getting now, starting in August, I'm gonna get the end of September. Like right now, at the end of August, I'm gonna get a few $100s that I did in July. It's like 1 month
Right.
ahead. So
Yeah, I
anybody
know. I
wanna
like to
help me out?
PayPal you. They
Like,
take less than YouTube.
Yeah, PayPal is good shit. But it's good. I appreciate the super chat. It helps because when I least expected, I said like, "Dude, I got $150, $200, and waiting for me at the end of the month, So it's good. It's all right, few dollars.
Oh, it sucks growing up, doesn't it?
It sucks, man. I know. I'm telling you.
Yeah. Being an adult is not all it's cracked up to be.
The amount of time just figuring out what you have to eat every day is insane.
Yeah. Actually, you know what? I had a knock on wood, whatever. I've been blessed for the past few months since I met this guy, my neighbor, an older guy, that he does volunteer job in food banks. And since I met him, dude, I haven't gone hungry. I actually have a lot of food. It's a lot of canned food, canned vegetables, canned beans, bags of rice, but that's food, dude. It's solid
it's
food.
food.
Every once in a while, yeah.
Yeah.
I spend $5 or $10 and I buy me a little pack of chicken drumsticks or something, or hot dogs or something to mix it around, But dude, I got food, so that's good. I'm being able to share with my sister too. I got a lot of dry beans, and I just don't want to go through the thing to boil them and getting pre-ready. So she likes the dry bags of beans and stuff.
Well, if you find one on sale, find an Instapot to do beans and rice, because it really cuts back on the time. And sometimes you could find them in thrift shops used and stuff like that for like $20-$25. Just an idea.
Yeah, I do it. I got a little rice cooker, and I actually like doing rice like the old school way, just in an actual pot. But I like the rice cooker. I just put the measurement, the water, the rice, close it, and just wait for it to be right. 15-20 minutes is what it takes. So that's good. A little short.
Also, oatmeal in a rice cooker works really well too.
Really? You never tried it?
Yeah, not the instant oatmeal, like the real long cooked stuff. Do that in a rice cooker. That works.
And I got there's air fryer cooker thingy. That's great, bro. I've even made in the food bank thingy. The last week they gave me a few frozen, but they were frozen like expired frozen steaks, like what's the cut name? The good steak, big steak.
New York strips.
New York strips. A few of the New York strips, and I just seasoned it, put it in the air fryer thing. Right. Bro, they were so good. They actually came out delicious, bro. Yeah. Oh, dude, I got some money over here on PayPal. Yo, holy shit. Nestle wipes. Yo, thank you so much. Look at that. Happy Yorkshire Day. And he sent me a cupcake. He sent me a gift, a cupcake with the, oh, smile. It's your birthday. Thank you for the card, bro. Hell yeah, that's awesome. An ugly dog with a card. Thank you so
Okay,
much.
but my topic I'm going to blame on you because you weren't here, so I spent too much time in gems.
All right.
And
Before I give you the floor,
okay,
Farmer's Boy also came through via PayPal. Dude, Farmer's Boy. He
Hey.
say you share my shield payments from Sonny Silverstone. Yo, Farmers, thank you so much, brother.
You're very welcome, sir.
Now I would have been so confused if I didn't already know your name because Sonny Silverstone. I say, who the fuck?
Yeah, but I you know my email address, don't you?
Yeah.
You ought to.
Thank you so much, brother.
Yes, yeah. No worries, mate. We'll keep you going.
Fills my heart, man. Thank you so much. Yeah. All right. Let me share my screen. And Mr. Malord, you got the floor, brother.
Okay, so like I said, I've been spending too much time in gems. And one, I had the roast yesterday. I had Gem looking more like Hagrid from Harry Potter than how he did look.
What the hell?
His face looks how I picture Stingray's face. I mean,
So you've never seen Jem before, then?
no, I have not. This is the first
Right.
time. I always pictured him looking like Hagrid, a guy with a beard, big curly bushy hair, and that's, you get that image.
Yeah,
You never
I know
seen
exactly
him before,
what you
right?
mean.
You never seen him before,
No,
Mark.
he's
No.
never seen him before.
Mm.
He's. I think I would probably say the same. He's not what you're expecting, but once you've seen him, then yeah. But when you see him for the first time, you think that's not how I imagined you. When you hear him, particularly when he's getting rather how shall I put it, irate when he's berating people in his Discord channel. Yeah.
But you can't unsee him once you see him.
What? Yeah, but it's just that first time when you think, oh, okay, then that's not the picture I had in my mind. So I know exactly where you're coming from. I was just the same. But once you've seen him, you think, okay, that's Jem. Fine, whatever.
Yeah. And shout out to
like
him.
you, I've
because,
always pictured. Oh, sorry.
Go ahead. No, you go ahead. Go ahead, man.
I always pictured Farmers looking like the one Doctor Who assistant, the older guy from like the most recent Doctor, I believe. I forgot his name.
First time when you think, he presents
You know,
a quiz show on the. Oh, I know who you mean. I can't.
Yeah,
Brian.
That's how I've always pictured you.
He's a Brian, isn't he? I think.
I believe so. Yeah, unfortunately, a Brian.
Yeah, shout out. I have heard people. I have met people throughout the years over here on the internet, and they say, "Dude, I don't want to be on camera. I don't want to be photographed, pictured because of my appearance. They either think they're too fat or too skinny or too ugly, or they got some kind of something odd. Like I got a glass eye, and when I look to the sides, I look odd, and I got a big fat nose or whatever. I got some disability. I'm in a wheelchair or something." I said, dude, I mean, if you don't want to be on camera, don't be. But if you are, more power to you. Nobody could give a fuck. Nobody can criticize you for any kind of disability or appearance that you have. What matters is what we do is we talk to each other here. So what matters is what's on your brain and what each other share with each other. I don't care if I'm talking to you and when you show up, they come this guy with a little bird little trap, and when they open the door, it's a frog talking to me or whatever. Like I don't know, a little alien inside managing somebody's head or somebody weird. I don't care how you look. What cares is what we talk to each other. But it's cool when people show themselves, even if they know they look weird and they can be the receiving end of of criticism and parodying and all that kind of shit.
Yeah. Oh, Bradley Walsh, by the way, not Brian. Bradley.
Okay.
Bradley Walsh. Yes, as Mark Tin pointed out, because I just thought it was Brian, but no, he presents The Chase, and he was in Coronation Street and all sorts.
So, anyways, let's get to this because all right. So, what's the idiot that always swears a lot on gems?
That's either going to be Dimmock or Jim?
Democ.
Dimmock.
And his horizontal clouds. I've been trying to. I think I figured it out, but I don't have numbers for it. But I think I know what he's talking about. So, say you're at the beach, right? And you got clouds above your head, and clouds pretty much all stay at the same level, roughly, right? I believe that's. So if I was to go 90 degrees up to the clouds, and let's say they're at 30,000 feet, and then if I was to take a tangent from my feet across the water, basically you're talking 2 concentric circles to hit those clouds. So how do you figure out the distance from one tangent point to intersect the other concentric circle?
What?
Huh?
Timo never said anything. Right?
No.
Yeah, not
It's
possible.
horizontal clouds. If you go horizontal, you'll hit the clouds.
Well,
And
that's
hold on.
evident. That's evident. Go horizontal, you'll hit the clouds. We
If
see
you
it.
don't follow the
We
curvature
can
of the Earth,
see that.
you have.
Yes.
Exactly, because you're going at a tangent to the Earth's surface, and if you carry on that straight line, if you could, then
Yeah.
yes, somehow eventually you are going to hit the clouds, because of course the clouds are moving. Say the bottoms of the clouds are on a concentric line to the surface of the Earth.
Yeah.
So yes, if you're going off at a tangent from the Earth's surface, and you could somehow just carry on, then yeah,
It's almost a
theoretically.
cannonball problem. Like you keep firing a cannonball straight, eventually
Yes.
it's going to get into orbit. So where does that orbit piece start is what he's going for. I just don't know how to run the numbers for that. I mean, you could draw it out as a triangle, but you're only given one side and no angles. So I don't know.
Yeah, we got here the surface of the Earth is blue. Let's say this is the clouds, the cloud coverage. And if you are standing in here, right? And you go straight,
Exactly. Yep.
straight, you hit the clouds. Yeah.
Yes,
Exactly.
eventually.
That's
Yeah.
That I think is his general idea.
yeah. So there
Which-
has to be numbers for that.
Must be, but
Yeah, I'm gonna give it a number.
hello.
There you go. This is the number I'm gonna give it. 30.
Hey, 33. Illuminati
Is that a
confirmed.
good number? I
Yes,
mean, I don't
good
know what
number.
numbers we're talking about here.
42 is a nice one as well. You could sling 42 in there.
Yeah, kind of numbers we're talking about here.
Let's play a game. Let's play a game. So suppose you went and bothered and calculated what he wants to know. The distance.
I guess
What
so.
good is it? What is Demo going to do with it?
Well,
Who
he insists
knows?
it's only like, okay, a mile to the horizon or whatever at 6 feet tall and another 33,000 feet. And I know it ain't that.
Of course not. It's hundreds of miles away.
Okay, that's my point.
Let's say a cloud is a mile up. Let's sound reasonable. Some of them
Yeah.
lower, but let's say normal clouds. Mile up.
I got numbers here. I'll be screenshotting the numbers. Shared by Stone Monkey. There you go. These are the numbers. I don't know if that's real or not. I'm just sharing it because it looks like numbers and an equation.
Oh, and can we play Brian's video of the space station as the god Isis?
Oh my, yeah, that was good. I enjoyed watching that one. I did enjoy that. You got a link accessible? Is it in a closer that I can scroll up or? I'll look
I
it
don't. I'm on my phone today.
I got it. I'll look it up.
And check your PayPal too.
All right. A minute. Let me pull this Brian Leak. Oh, is it Brian Leak the channel name or Flatter Test or something?
No, Flat Earth Cuts.
There's something. Flat test. Let me go. I'll go on Discord and scroll up and I'll find it. So he say, Brian, something about the ISS being there for thousands of years and people used to worship it or some shit like that.
Yes.
Not that one where he thinks it's the Egyptian goddess
God,
Isis.
ISIS. Yes.
Oh,
I
God.
swear these people sit down and have an online meeting and they try to come up with the most demented shit that they can and then say, right, whose turn is it to do a video about this?
Oh, but Travis's comments are the best on it.
Oh, he
But
agrees with him.
But here's the
Yeah.
thing. I mean, but here's the thing. They're looking for the meaning of a word, but ISS is not a word. Neither is NASA a word. It's
No, exactly.
You know, it's the International Space Station. What's difficult to understand that? But National Aeronautical Space Association Administration. Sorry, you know. So it's not a word. So why they're looking for words in meanings of words that are not words to begin with? You know, it makes no sense.
I don't know. It's I swear they're just they're taking the piss and they're trying to out-derp each other. And it was
Right.
Brian's turn to do this nonsense.
All right, let me do two big thank yous, big shout outs and thank yous because we got Blue Marble Science jumped in to help a brother out. Blue Marble Science, hope it helps, Jose. Blue with $10. Thank you very much, Blue. I appreciate that a lot. And Mr. Malord put his 2 pennies with a big $20 to help out. Thank you, Blue, Mr. Malord. Thank you so much for your help. It fills my heart. It makes me very, very, very happy. It makes me feel something here, like in the center of in the center of my chest. Thank you, guys. I appreciate it. Brian Leake, aka Flat Earth Tests. I'm gonna post a link in YouTube land, and I'm gonna repost a link in here so you guys can see where I got this from.
And you know, I thought he was a Christian as well. I'm pretty certain Brian is quite an upfront Christian, and yet here he is going on about Egyptian goddesses.
Is there music in this one? Maybe we'll make sure.
I don't think so.
I'll put the
Yeah,
subtitles. If there's music that might be copywriting, we'll mute it. But we got closed captions. I think we'll be all right.
You'd be all right for a few seconds anyway.
Yep. So click on my screen share and watch what I'm saying. While you make sure that you're watching my screen share, we'll shout out to Sean Smith with a $10 super chat. If you triangulate the height, distance to the horizon, an angle of perspective, and multiply it by 33, divided by 7, then use the square root of 13, you get an answer of derp to the third. Shout out to Sean Smith. That dude, I'm gonna have to write that equation down because it just sounds about right. Thank you so much.
Derp cubed. I like that.
Yeah, they're cubed. That's it.
Derp cubed.
To the third power. Okay, like I just
cubed.
call it like that. So what's the little number 2 squared, right?
Yes, if there's a 2, then it's squared, basically times by itself, and if
the
it's
3
cubed,
is cubed. Okay.
yeah, it's like 3 cubed is 3 times 3 times 3,
Got
which is
it.
27. You know, so yeah.
Heard. Chaik, I see that you are screen sharing, but we're gonna watch this video first. I'm already screen sharing a Brian Leake video, 5 minutes 35 seconds.
If you can wait with Brian Leakey because disconnected to Mr. Mabrot question, I just put in
All right.
the Earth curve calculator. I put object that is mile high, and I drag the distance until it almost dropping below the horizon. It's about 100 miles, a bit over 100 miles.
that'll work.
Yep.
Yep.
Can go to Brian.
Yeah, hold on, Chaik, hold on. Leave it there. I want to take a screenshot so I can share it because I didn't do it right then and there. But oh shit! But I'm gonna be able to do it. So give me a second. All right. So we got an idea what you were sharing. And if anybody want to see more detailed, come over to the Discord and click on Shake screen share so you know what we got going on. Just want to share this image for the audience very quickly over here. And that's it. What do we have over here? How do you explain this, Shake? I don't know if you see. I'm sharing the screenshot
The,
of what you had.
the object is a mile high.
Okay.
Yes, and I moved back from the object the distance there until it's almost below the horizon. If I increase it to 105, it will disappear. So that's where you intersect the cloud. It's the cloud. It represents the cloud. The the cloud begins right above it.
Yep.
100 nautical miles. Right, yeah. Very good.
No, it's miles.
All right, okay.
Proper miles, landlubber miles.
The moils.
Yeah, I
Moils,
can't.
sky moils.
Not sky miles.
Moils.
Sorry.
You'll be a racist now, Father Ted.
It's logical. It's logical. Shout out to everybody on YouTube land. Thank you for watching. Thank you, Citizen 9. Appreciate it. Welcome back. Yeah, good. All right, we're gonna watch a little bit of Derp. Brian Leakes, latest video. I got it sped up to 1.25 speed. The title of the video is the ISS the Wanderer Goddess Isis? Here we go. Oh no, he didn't.
That's not copyright. Don't worry.
You'll be fine with that.
Is it that bad quality in the original video? Or do I
Yes,
have a little
it's
lag?
intentionally bad quality,
Oh,
like a piss
yeah.
take. Yeah.
Okay. The 2001 Space Odyssey thing, right?
Yes.
Yeah,
it
with
is.
the apes. And stuff.
This is
It's a
Arcturus,
fighter, he says.
and some will say this is out of focus. We'll go over that later in the video. But for now, I want to present the case that the ISS is not new. It's not the first time around. And it's what I think either the Babylonians or the Vedics called the Wanderer Isis. And it's been around and it spread internationally like the International Space Station.
How can he narrate
Before
this
the
with
ancient
the
Egyptian
straight face?
goddesses,
You know?
Isis's cult was the most widespread and the longest
know.
lasting. Such was her popularity that it far exceeded the boundaries of the Egyptian Empire. She was revered by both Greeks and Romans, and her influence reached all the way to Britain, where there are, purportedly, bridges adorned with her image along the River Thames. At her height during the Greco-Roman times, her popularity transcended borders, gained an international following, and later even rivaled the popularity of the burgeoning Christian religion.
The ISS appears as a fast-moving star crossing the sky from west to east. You can distinguish it from a plane because it's not blinking.
Might have to slow it down a bit.
So with that big ass telescope, this is what we get. It's
Big ass
definitely
telescope.
something so small and fast it's hard to video.
There was a temple to Isis in Athens. In Athens, right? Of all places. And they just couldn't kill this Isis cult. Well, this continues on into Rome,
Uh-oh.
and I'm almost done here.
So he says they just couldn't kill the religious cult. It's like the religion of science.
He didn't say religious cult. He said ISIS cult. Right?
Well,
I mean, I know it's wrong, but still, the actual what Brian Leakes say is not what the old men just say right now. Yeah, it's got religion written, but what the guy say, the guy didn't mention religion. Brian did mention.
So small and fast it's hard to video.
There was a temple to Isis in Athens. In Athens, right? Of all places. And they just couldn't kill this Isis cult. Well, this continues on into Rome, and I'm almost done.
Kill the ISIS cult.
So he says they just couldn't kill the religious cult. It's like the religion of science nowadays. And now the people
Religion
defend
of
the
science.
ISS like they're in a
Yeah.
cult.
Rome adopts the ISIS cult. And when I say
Just
cult, I mean
put
that's a technical
religion
term in
in
religious
there.
studies. That just means a set of beliefs and practices around this god or deity.
Now-
We really
now-
know ISIS from a book called The Golden Ass, which is a fantastic book by Apuleius. By this time, when the story goes into Rome, it merges with the mystery religions, coming out of Eleusinius especially, but you may know about these. These are very secretive religions. Now, keep in mind, Rome was a lot like us today. It's like you can pretty much believe anything and do anything, become a follower of ISIS. And so, and by definition, you've got to keep that secret. And so, you get these figures of ISIS coming out of her veil, right?
So I can talk about the Indian Taínos. The Taínos was the Indians from Puerto Rico, right? The Taíno Indian was like the local ones. I can learn a lot about the Taíno Indians. All right. So the Taíno Indians, they like because they used to like to do these rituals and they did these spirituality bullshit, and they follow this type of gods and stuff. They dress like this, they eat like that, they sing these songs. Therefore, like now you can see the Puerto Ricans and all the Puerto Ricans, all the government and the people from poor families in Puerto Rico, including Jose, they are all like the Taino Indians. So Jose does these rituals. He dressed like this. He eat that food. He sing those songs, and he believe in that. It's kind of what Brian is attempting to say here, because something happened a long time ago, and there's a history of something that might have happened. Brian is now bringing that to the modern world to just lump all the science in it just because he sounds cool to his ears, I guess,
I guess.
This is so fucking weird.
Yeah, no shit.
And ISIS becomes an emblem of science. And so science and esoterica, yeah, they're similar structurally.
So it's a symbol of science that
Emblems of
rivals
science.
Christianity. Sound familiar? Like the ISS today, which in my opinion promotes
Secret
atheism.
because they belong to ISIS.
Oh,
Trace that right back
God's
to the ISIS
teeth.
cult. Whether it's in Egypt, because remember she was a magician there, or Rome, or the Middle Ages with the Masons. This wonderful sign of the rending of the veil, the open, late 19th century. And she continues because she has adapted enough to be adopted by various peoples in the United States now. Manly P. Hall, of course, the secret teachings of all ages.
So it continues right on through till today with the ISS. And I don't think it's that big of a jump.
Where had the old man mentioned the ISS ever in any point?
He hasn't. This is Brian trying to conflate ISIS with the ISS.
Because is he pulling a piche?
He could be. I don't know. But you'll notice that he said that the ISS is something along the lines of teaching or encouraging atheism. He's trying to link, modern science and technology with atheism.
Mm.
So
the
you don't get
ISS
out your
promotes
atheist prayer
atheism.
rug whenever it doesn't overpass?
Sorry.
Well, I mean, I don't know, but bearing in mind that Brian is a Christian, and here he is trying to say that the ISS is this ancient Egyptian goddess Isis. But
So,
he's
I mean,
a Christian.
but I mean, I don't.
Claims to be a Christian.
If he's saying it's atheism or promoting atheism, and like worshipping a god, I mean, how is that atheism?
Exactly.
That makes no sense.
And as an atheist, I worship no gods, none.
Yeah.
I'm much like Brian. It's just that I don't believe in one more god than him. As it turns out, he might actually believe in two, from the sounds of it: the Christian god and the goddess Isis.
But I mean, just because something sounds like ISIS, it's ISS, and now that's all it is. He's made the connection. It sounds like ISIS, therefore it must be ISIS. I mean, because ISS sounds like that. If
this is genuine, then Brian has just gone completely off the rails. I'm sorry, he's lost
way down the rabbit hole with this.
Wow,
we can narrow this video down to where is any of the topic that this guy is talking in his presentation. What is the association with the International Space Station? That if you can make a link one to each other, then he might have a point. But when you break it down to the more basic on what is Brian talking about? Brian want to talk about the ISS, and then he brings this video. What is the link between each other?
Well, he makes two links: the name and the shape. He has a picture of the goddess with wings at the end. Looks like ISS.
But I mean, here's the thing, though. If it was called something like the National Space Station, you wouldn't have thought anything of this. It's all in the name. That's where it stems from, and he's making the connection, and he's going with it. If it was, it would have been it would have been NSS, wouldn't it? National Space Station.
Yeah.
And therefore, there would be no connection whatsoever. So that's where it comes from. It's just horseshit. That's the only connection. That's it.
Well, the fact that Isis isn't actually known as the winged goddess. I can't find mention of that anywhere, but
Oh, well, there you go.
All right, we got a few minutes here.
So it continues right on until today with the ISS. And
Saturn now.
I don't think it's that big of a jump to claim the ISS could be natural. This is Saturn. Look at that. Now, you've seen Arcturus. This is the ISS transiting Jupiter, and that's a hell of a telescope to even capture that. And this is Arcturus. And that looks like the ISS. And they would claim that's out of focus.
Focus!
They would claim that this is in focus.
He's using a P900.
That glared out bullshit. No.
Focus!
I say that this is what's in focus. They're trying to tell us to learn how to focus, but oh,
Wait, but what does he say this is? Is this is he is implying that this is one of the pictures that is in focus.
Yeah, I don't
they
know
would
what it
claim that
actually is
this
because
is in
it's.
focus here. That's in
yeah,
focus.
yeah.
That glared out bullshit.
Yeah,
No.
what is this? What is
Oh no, he's saying that we're saying that's in focus. So he's showing us. He's showing an image that's quite obviously out of focus, and then he's saying, "Oh, but they're saying that this picture and
Yeah,
what
nobody's
you're showing
saying
now."
that.
He's saying, "Oh, they're saying this is in focus." No, they're not.
Nobody's saying
gonna
that.
look, yeah, nobody's going to look at that and go, "Oh yeah, that's pin sharp and in focus." I mean, that's a blurry mess. Christ knows what that actually is.
Find any non-flat earther or any non-Brian Leake follower and ask him, "Is this in focus?" Nobody will say this picture in screen is in focus. Nobody will say
Exactly. Exactly.
You know what? You know what? To be fair, I can say it's not in focus because there are many things in play. There is resolution, which is limited, we know, by the aperture. It may be in focus and not resolved enough. I don't know. I don't
Or it's
know.
a really crap camera with a really bad sensor, i.e. the P900, which is probably what's being used for that.
You know what? You know, I have a,
Arcturus,
I have a theory
and,
about why
that
he,
looks like ISS.
hold on,
And they would
let
claim
me-
that's out of focus, but they would claim that this is in focus here.
No,
No,
this
no.
might be. Wait. He might be looking. Wait, he might be looking at a screen, at a computer or a TV, and he might. Let's say, I'll give it the benefit of the doubt. Let's say he pulled one of the James Webb telescope, then the new picture, and then he got really close with his phone and he took a picture of this, maybe through a monitor screen or paper, and he got this result. But this is not in focus. It's not the quality. It's not the focus. It's not the size. Not the quality. So this is not what we claim. You know, that is might be that, or no way, or this is just a random something.
No, I think anybody would look at this and know that it's not in focus.
Yeah.
Except Brian.
Yeah.
I was just pushing there and trying to find an excuse.
And
Give it the benefit.
why is he focusing on the out of focus images of the ISS when you can clearly go to any other channel and see very crisp, clear images from someone's backyard with a really good telescope or even a decent enough camera attached to a telescope that can see the ISS.
Yeah, absolutely. You're absolutely right. But bear in mind, though, I mean, even the much better ones than that are not completely in focus. Well, because it's well, let's see, it's 400 kilometers away. You know, at least, if not more.
I mean, look at Astronomy Live. Look at those images of the ISS.
Right.
Because when you might have a big telescope and very powerful, but if you don't have a system to run it through, a good tracker, a good resolution to record with or whatever, you're not gonna get the correct image, with the right quality.
No, not from that distance. Anyway, not 400 kilometers plus.
Leo,
I'm sorry, go ahead.
I just want to read the message that Leo is sending. Leo says, "Lemon bird, lemon bird, lemon bird." Thanks, Leo. Go ahead.
And I made a video about this a while ago, and I said that's why we don't use phones to look at the ISS. We use cameras and telescopes with very large lenses.
Yep.
Should we play the last minute here?
Yeah, go on.
I mean, it's like 2 minutes, but let's say it's one.
That's in focus. That glared out bullshit. No, I say that this is what's in focus. They try to tell us to learn how to focus. But we're focusing in
Arcturus is in
Jupiter.
Focus here, people.
The little moons, little polka dot moons of Jupiter. We're focusing in fine on Saturn, but we're all misfocusing exactly the same when it comes to Arcturus or other stars. We're getting the same frequency, so we're all out of focus exactly alike.
The same frequency. What?
Hold on.
Yeah.
Right, pause it real quick. Why are you trying to focus in on stars anyway?
Yeah.
I don't think you'll ever try to be able to focus in on a star other than maybe the sun.
Yeah. And you can I have tried, man, and I get a kind of a dot type of thing, and I get the little sparkly glare, like the little cross glare, blinking thing, like a little bit like the James Webb telescope. You got those big, bright, little circle, and you got the blink.
Right, but that's all you're ever going to get. That's all you're ever going to get from something like that. You're not going to get something as the sun.
If I'm with the P900 now, zooming into that, and I get this little blink, little cross, and I try to eliminate that, I then start getting it out of focus until I might get something like this, a little blob of something that it can eliminate that, but now it's changing the actual focus of the star. Now this is actually out of focus. Do you see the glare, the little blinking glare? Not really. But you're not seeing the actual shape of the star. You're never going to see it with a cheap-ass camera like the Nikon's camera.
You're not going to see it with the web. What do you see in the web? Little dots in the sky. That's it.
That's it. Now you want to focus on planets. That's different.
Yeah. I mean, he showed Jupiter, a good image of Jupiter earlier here.
And Saturn. He showed very
Saturn. Yeah, this Saturn.
There you go. There's Saturn.
Yeah.
Yep.
Pretty good. It's not bad actually. Not bad.
Yeah, that's Saturn.
Bad.
Yeah,
ISS. And I don't think it's that big of a jump to claim the ISS could be natural.
I mean, you can't see
This is
detail,
Saturn.
but you can see the rings
Look at
clearly.
that. Now, you've seen Arcturus. This is the ISS.
Jupiter's pretty good. It's not bad either.
And that's a hell.
All right.
So if the ISS is a natural body, and I'm right, and I don't think it's that big of a stretch.
Wait, he said that the ISS is a natural body.
It looks like ISS. If that's not ISS symbolism, I don't know what is.
It's not.
So if the ISS is a natural body, and I'm right, and I don't think it's that big of a
But you're
stretch,
not.
they'll have to keep backing up to decommission it. Like it was supposed to be decommissioned, I believe, in 2024 or close to that, and they backed it up to 2031. And they're stuck with it. If it's natural, then they can't decommission it.
How much in denial do you have to be?
So between now and 2031, they'll have to back it up again. Or
humans are not unable to build.
So if these people quit defending NASA,
something that can fly 200 miles above the Earth. I mean,
whatever they do have up there, that ain't
build it for the last 23 fucking years.
And join us, we could possibly get disclosure on what they do
how
have up there.
trustful do you got to be to say we cannot do that?
To look at something that's quite clearly man-made, when you look at these decent shots that are taken from Earth, let alone the ones that are taken from or in orbit, from just outside the ISS, and to say, oh, that's a natural object. Oh, really, Brian? Really?
It's awesome enough in itself. If August Picard went up there in early 1900s,
10 seconds and they will get blue.
Attached capsule, they could have a whole city of attached capsules. Maybe that's what the astronauts are going up to. Who knows?
Capsules.
We'll never know.
Attached to what?
People get on board
Attached
with
to the goddess Isis.
Well, he's obviously inferring they're attached to balloons because he mentioned Auguste Picard, who obviously went up in the balloon. So,
Blue, what do you think, man, about all these Brian shenanigans?
How did we go all those thousands and thousands and thousands of years and nobody ever noticed that fucker until we went and launched it? How did that happen? Jesus Christ.
Thousands of years, we spotted the moon, we spotted the stars, we looked at all these constellations, but this dirty great big thing that's in low Earth orbit, we somehow missed that until the tail end of 1998/1999 when they started fucking building it. And then all of a sudden,
all of a sudden, the big glaring spot of light just showed up out of nowhere. It's always been there, though. It's natural.
Come on, bro.
But we missed it.
How did we do that? Man, people are stupid.
I'm trying to figure it out. Blue, but I can't.
He's doing it to take the piss and get attention and get people talking and go to his channel and leave comments. And he's done exactly that. He's basically said, look at me, I'm a moron. Come and poke fun.
Because Brian jumped from claim to claim. I remember when we were on here and we were talking about the 24-hour sun, and when we got to the end of that discussion, he agreed that you made a good point. Yeah, I'm gonna go look into it, but I kind of agree with you. And then he goes back and goes completely haywire and goes and reverses everything he said previously.
Yeah.
But you have agents on the floor all over the world next to regular people that like looking up to the skies, and they wait for 1,000 years, for over a millennia, when it was supposed to be the time to the ISS transit. Then you got distracted and say, "Excuse me, sir, where is the closer liquor store? Excuse me, sir, hey, you dropped something." And then while you look down, you look through the telescope, the ISS is past. So you got every 90 minutes, one person per every curious person in the world. So you got around 1 billion people just guarding you, all your moves for over a millennia. Thank you very much.
So which Egyptian goddess was the old Russian space station Mir that I saw in the 90s? Which Egyptian goddess was that then? And is of course no longer there because it mysteriously disappeared, as in deorbited.
I mean, look at that picture. I mean, does that look like a god?
Does that look like a natural item to you?
Yeah,
it looks like a fucking space station.
Yeah.
Well, not very often, but I sometimes see things like this form in nature.
Do you really?
No.
Is it special type of? Is it special type of crystal or something that grows into that shape or something? Maybe I don't know.
No, they grow on special trees. This is what comes out of the seed pod. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Hang on a minute. I'm talking bollocks. Sorry.
I swear, when I was in Tennessee, I saw a truck growing out of the ground.
Guys,
I've seen plants growing out of ditches. Yeah.
I really want to dig into Brian Mavitt's brain for just 1 minute.
Don't do
Brian
that. Please
Mavitt,
don't.
are you there, Brian Mavitt? I just want to ask you, honestly, do you think this could be, might be, who knows, one of those, who knows, that the ISS could be a natural phenomena that has been there for all eternity? I mean, it doesn't matter if he is, body with the other Brian, but this is ridiculous, right? To speculate that this has always been there, right? When we have already spoken, and it's not a big jump to know that humankind is capable, very capable, to build a technology that can fly a few hundred miles away from the Earth. And all the process on the build of the ISS is documented. I mean, it just makes no sense why Brian Leaker really think that he might have a point here whatsoever, unless he's just like really, really trolling.
Mavitt's either eating his dinner or doing the washing up.
So if you heard me, Brian, whenever you get a chance, jump in. We'll keep talking among ourselves here. Go ahead, people.
I'll answer for Brian. Have you gone completely mad? They have lied to you. Your brain is absolute mud. There is no curvature. There is no globe.
That was probably the worst British accent I have ever heard. Please don't ever do that again.
I was having my dinner.
Stop it.
I mean, you can actually download an ISS tracker app that streams live footage 24/7 from the ISS.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've lost count the number of times I've seen it pass overhead. And there is fully documented photos and film of it being constructed in orbit from the very first module that the Russians launched.
And I've even waited for it. I've even waited for it to come over the top of Hawaii, and got the same exact cloud formation from the ISS and on the Himawari 8.
Yeah, and isn't it strange as well? We can predict exactly where it's going to be ahead at a precise time. Isn't that strange?
Yeah, funny that.
And if you compare the two pictures, the earlier one from 2007 it looks like the things evolve, it changed shape, and on the old one there is something on the left bottom side that reminds something like the space shuttle.
Yeah, it looks like that to me as well. The back of the space shuttle. Yeah, you're looking at the.
Well, it was growing. It grew solar panels.
Yep. It has over time, yeah, for sure.
It's grown all sorts of things. I mean, it was one single module that was too big to go in the shuttle. That's why the Russians launched it.
Yeah.
What have we been lied to about? in relation to the ISS?
Nothing. Well, we have been lied to by Brian in the video we just watched.
No.
It's not the god of ISIS. It's not a natural object, because no, that's absurd. And I love the way that Travis agrees with them. Oh, yeah, it's natural. Yeah. A natural what? What in nature forms that in low Earth orbit? Because he wasn't denying the existence of Jupiter and Saturn. Oh, they're planets in space. Oh, they're in space, but what's this? Oh, it's natural. Really? It's utterly, utterly bonkers. He's, well, as CHL would say, off the charts. Or it's just one big wind-up.
You not have to get it into your thick skulls, you thick cunts! Chai, your volume is a little bit low.
Better he takes it off his channel and we forget he ever put it there, and that's it.
Well, I noticed that was the comment you made, but it's still there, isn't it?
Well, maybe it wouldn't be there now.
Yeah, he's trying. He's trying so hard to just not see the truth.
Oh, mind you, it's only got 136 views.
Chai, I got you at 200% volume, man. Slightly lower than everybody.
Sorry, maybe I need to position my microphone near my mouth.
You never know. Flatzoid might mirror on his channel.
Yeah.
Oh, shout out to Flatzoid. Congrats for the new PC. We're waiting impatiently for some quality dub.
Yes, maybe he is now able to open his Discord server and talk to us, you know?
Well, you can guarantee it will be quality dirt, but there are, of course, many types of quality. There are basically two types of quality.
You don't need I don't understand why you need a new PC to do this. I make all my videos on my phone. I don't even use my PC.
My quite powerful PC that I've got sitting here cost me £260 second hand on eBay.
Have any of you attempted to grow ISS crystals or ISS seeds in their gardens?
Let me just have a look and see if Amazon have got any. Half a mo.
Find me some. I'll grow an ISS for sure. Yeah, absolutely.
I may do it for a science project with my students this fall.
Do you need vacuum to grow them, or?
Yeah, you have to buy a vacuum chamber to grow the crystals, but you have to keep expanding the vacuum chamber as well.
Amazon haven't got any. They must be out.
Oh, damn.
They haven't got any ISS seeds, and they haven't got any ISIS seeds either.
What about ISS crystals? What about that?
Okay then.
You need to check. You need to check AliExpress, not Amazon.
You could try that. Yeah, you could try the eBay maybe. Somebody selling them second hand.
Crystals, yes. ISS crystals, no.
Oh.
Okay, eBay ISS. Let's see what this actually throws up. Crystals.
Ooh, I see a market opportunity here.
Yeah. No ISS crystals on eBay either. Oh, I'm so disappointed.
Maybe it's a fungus then or something. Maybe, I don't know, something natural like that.
You can get it in Lego. That's not natural, is it?
Plastic. That doesn't count.
£80. I could be tempted.
Wait. There is. I found ISIS crystals.
ISIS crystals.
Oh, how to grow your own Egyptian goddess? Cool.
I'm not sure about that.
I always wanted one of them.
All right, guys. Question: Do we want to? I think we visited this a long time ago, but should we visit tides? How does tides work on Earth? So, I mean, I'm pretty sure that 99% of the people here is able to explain how tides work. But I think that 1% will be Brian Mabbott. I don't know if he's available. and if he concurred with the explanation of how tides work. If he does, I would like to hear that.
What works?
Tides.
Oh, tides. Okay.
Tides. Tides.
Oh, that's easy. It's pixies.
Fairy dust.
Because if you tell me the Earth is breathing in, breathing out, I mean, you need a mechanism. You need
yes. It's Earth is breathing, and the breathing is raising and lowering at the bosom of the waters. Oh no, hang on a minute. That's bollocks, isn't it? Yeah, forget about that.
Yeah. Should we entertain this? Should we entertain the tides old school video, which is good graphs and easy to understand?
Oh, have you got one of those classic black and white ones?
Yes.
Oh, outstanding. Yeah, we like them. They're not. They're good. They are.
One right here. You watching my screenshot? You don't have to go too far.
Go on. What date's this one then? How old is this? Because some dates
on it, right? Yeah. Hold on. Let me get it. Let me get 1964.
Oh, cool.
1964 is not too bad. Oh fuck! It keeps changing ratio.
Yeah.
I'll just leave it like that.
Yeah, leave it like that.
There you go. Yeah. All right. I skipped a little bit, but this is kind of where we start getting, the more explanation. So let's see how it sounds, and let's see if it's worth to take a little look.
Men have been puzzled and fascinated by this constant movement of the sea.
Perfect.
Sir Isaac Newton's discovery of the laws of gravity led him to believe that the tides were caused by the gravitational on the waters of the Earth. Let us first study the effect of the sun.
And you guys let me know if I need to pause or something. If you got comments, please feel free to talk at any time, and I'll make sure that you are heard.
The Earth, though attracted to the sun by gravity, does not move toward it. The reason is that the Earth is circling around the sun, like a weight on a string. The faster you whirl such a weight, the harder it pulls. The outward pull is called centrifugal force. The Earth travels at such a speed and at such a distance that this outward pull just balances the inward pull of gravity, and the Earth continues to travel around the sun.
Big Blue, I have heard you talk about this and probably mention it some kind of, in layman's term. I think I have heard you probably a few years ago. You say like, well, we got this centripetal force that is like the Earth wants to move away, but then you got the pull of gravity that is bringing it in, and they like equate each other. Something around that neighborhood is exactly what we saw here.
Yeah, that's exactly what he just said. You reach a point if it's the right speed where the gravitational attraction of the sun is exactly equal to the centrifugal force caused by the rotation. And then it just stays that constant distance. Although it isn't really constant, it's almost constant. All orbits are somewhat elliptical, but
as I say, I mean, without much detail or math or nothing, in layman's terms, this is just the easier way to explain it.
Yeah, right. Gravity is like the cable on that weight the hammer toss guy was doing. Gravity is like the cable. Centrifugal force is the reaction actually to the pull. Centripetal force. The pull is the actual force.
Yeah, but even if the orbit is very elliptical, you still balance those forces as you get closer. You get faster. As you get farther away, you get slower.
Yeah, and that's what happens with Kepler's laws. That's what they describe.
Very good, very good.
Such a distance that this outward pull just balances the inward pull of gravity, and the Earth continues to travel around the sun instead of crashing into the sun or flying off into space.
Whee!
Here is a cross-section through the center of the Earth. This arrow stands for the force of the sun's gravitational pull on the Earth. The force points toward the sun. This arrow stands for the outward centrifugal force on the Earth as it orbits around the sun. The force points away from the sun. These arrows must be the same length, since they must balance each other exactly to keep the Earth in its orbit around the sun.
And this is about tides. We still haven't get into it because you need to understand the basics, which is this, right? I mean, it's not to tell. It's not that you're gonna come and tell me it's just the Earth breathing. Drop the whatever potato you have and walk away. You know, it doesn't work like that. I'm sorry.
Newton found that the force of gravity is greater where two bodies are close together than it is where they are far apart. So if we draw arrows representing the gravitational attraction of the sun at different places on Earth, the arrows closest to the sun will be longest, and those farthest away from the sun will be shortest. However, the centrifugal force due to the Earth's motion around the sun is almost the same at every place on Earth. If we draw arrows representing the centrifugal force, they are about the same length all over the Earth. When we put all these arrows on the same picture, we see that the gravity arrows and the centrifugal force arrows are not the same length and do not point in the same direction. What is the total effect of these two forces, which are different in direction and strength? If we place the tail of the centrifugal force arrow on the head of the gravity arrow, we can draw a shortcut arrow that represents the total force. If we combine each pair of arrows, the results will look like this. The arrows on the sun's side of Earth point toward the sun, and those on the other side point away from the sun. These forces cannot squeeze or stretch the solid, stiff Earth very much. But these forces do change the shape of oceans, whose waters are free to flow. The water moves outward and points just under the sun and just opposite the sun. The surface of the sea rises in two bulges, toward and away from the sun, and falls between these two bulges. These bulges would not cause tides if the Earth did not rotate. The ocean's surface would be higher at some places than at others, but it would not continually rise and fall.
I think we're going to start getting into the details. What do you guys think about the graphs on the 60?
Good explanation.
Yeah.
Did you notice? Did you notice it doesn't change the shape of the solid Earth very much?
Yeah,
because it does have some effect on tectonics, doesn't it? A very minor effect, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tidal land tides are a new thing now.
Yeah.
All right.
However, the Earth does rotate, and the sun is on different sides of Earth at different times of day. Tide bulges remain in line with the sun, so that as the Earth rotates, each part of the ocean passes through both bulges every day.
There you go. Nice. I like it.
If we place a flag on Earth, it will go all the way around once each day. When the flag is between the bulges, the water will be shallow. When the flag is in either of the bulges, the water is deep. For one complete turn of the Earth, we have high tide when the flag is toward the sun in daytime, low tide when it is between bulges, high tide when it is opposite the sun at night, and low tide when it is between bulges again. If we use a white line to trace the level of the ocean as it rises and falls along the flagpole, we can make a tide curve like this. This is the way a sun tide would look.
Now, before you guys jump in and say like, yeah, this explain all the basics, but we all know that tides, there's discrepancies. Some tides are way higher than others. Some tides are way lower than others. Well, don't jump the shark too fast. Don't go ahead of yourself. It will be explained here because you're introducing the factor that not only the sun but the moon. This is only with the sun. What is explaining what happened with the tides? Now you're about to introduce the moon. You must first understand the basics. And by that I mean I'm not talking to you guys for being condescending. I'm actually being to maybe Brian Mabbit. What are your thoughts so far? How you like this explanation, man? See your hot mic in there.
Are they saying we only have high tides at midday and midnight?
No.
So far with the sun, this is kind of what they're saying. Sometimes we only introducing the sun as creating the tides. With the video is not done yet, but so far, yes. Should we continue and see if that's it, and then we can debunk it? Attempt to. All right.
There are 2 high tides and 2 low tides every day. So far, we have been considering only the effect of the sun on the tides.
Nailed it.
The moon causes the same sort of tide, but the moon tide is nearly twice as high because the moon is much closer to Earth. The high sun tides are exactly 12 hours apart, but the high moon tides are more than 12 hours apart, about 12 hours and 25 minutes. Therefore, they cannot always occur at the same time as the high sun tides. The orange areas show how the high moon tide lags further and further behind the high sun tide each day. When the sun, moon, and Earth are in line, we have either a full moon or a new moon. And the two
Now we're getting somewhere, Brian, right? I mean, you know, we were going ahead of ourselves a little bit, right?
So does this mean we'd have 2 high tides at noon and midnight, and then another one when the moon passes? Is that what you're saying?
No.
Not quite. We still gotta listen to a little bit longer and try to understand it, because we're still kind of halfway there. Yeah, we're getting there. We're getting there.
2 sun tide bulges occur at the same place as the 2 moon tide bulges. The 2 pairs of bulges add together to make larger bulges, and these make larger tides. Whenever the sun and moon are pulling together, the sun tide and the moon tide combine to make larger tides. These larger tides are called spring tides. 1 week later, when the moon is at right angles to the sun and Earth, the 2 sun bulges and 2 moon bulges occur at different places.
There we go.
And the 2 pairs of bulges partly cancel each other, leaving only small bulges. Since the sun and moon are not pulling together, the sun tide partly cancels the moon tide to make smaller tides. These small tides, which occur halfway between the spring tides, are called neap tides. Spring tides occur at every new and full moon. Therefore, there are 2 sets of spring tides every month. A set of neap tides occurs between every 2 sets of spring tides, at the 1st and 3rd quarters of the moon.
It's getting slightly more advanced to me right now. Before I let you guys have the floor, big shout out to Truth Nurse. He's been a smart, responsible troll for 6 months now. Thank you for being a member of the channel for 6 months. Truth Nurse says, remember when Zinc Cleanser and Essie Montreal explained flat Earth tides with whales? The wakes of boats and turbines in underwater tunnels. Wow, I don't remember that. That's a classic one, man.
Yeah, that does ring a bell. That was painful.
This is getting too advanced. I'm not gonna learn all these terms. I mean, if I don't read this and I just hear it and I hear nip, I just think about nipples. Nip, the nip.
It was neat.
I know, but you know. I got stuck. My brain froze when I heard nip tide. I said, whoa, what are we talking about here, man? Is it supposed to be science or what? You know, they're not telling me. Whale science.
Another effect on the oceans occurs when the sun appears north of the equator in summer months. Tide bulges remain in line with the sun. One bulge lies north of the equator, the other lies south. As the Earth turns, it carries us around on a path, like this. This path takes us through the thick part of one bulge, but misses the thick part of the other bulge. If we cut a cross-section through this path and look at it from the top, it will look like this. The bulges we see are not equal. As before, we pass through both bulges when the Earth goes around. But one bulge is larger than the other, and one high tide is higher than the other. As the Earth goes around, we will see a very high tide, then a low tide, then another high tide, which is not as high as the first high tide, then still another low tide. The tide records will show high tides of unequal height. When the sun is directly over the equator in spring and fall, the 2 sun tides are equal, but they are again unequal in winter when the sun is south of the equator. The moon and moon bulges move back and forth across the equator every month. The moon appears north of the equator part of the month, and south of the equator the other part.
This is actually cool, man. But if I was putting the spot, like, how do you explain tides on the globe? Well, it's because of the gravitational pull of the sun and the moon. Pretty much, yeah, just the easy separation, and then you got all kinds of factors in between, all kinds of different, little bit of discrepancies between one another is because of the positions and the angles and all that kind of shit that I mean, it's really cool to listen to and look at it, but for me, I don't get this. Now, you guys probably know this off the top of your head and a lot easier to explain, but it's cool to learn, a little bit. I mean, me
That's fair.
Bulge.
Yeah, but at least you're learning.
Yeah.
You're not just going.
Yeah. I'm just listening and trying to absorb, because then they say like, oh, so you did now the sun creating the tides, so you're gonna have only two tides. Well, you gotta add the moon, and the moon is not always lining up with the sun. The moon is going in different rate than the sun, and you're gonna have different type of tides because the moon tides are slightly bigger than the sun, higher than the sun. So it's like all kinds of weird shit. It's easy to understand, but it's hard for me to explain it. It's cool.
Movements of the sun and moon and the continuous change from new moon to full moon cause the tides to be different from week to week and season to season. The tides we have studied are those which would occur if the Earth were entirely covered by the ocean. But the real Earth has continents dividing the
There's
ocean.
another factor
Because
right
of this, the bulges cannot move directly or smoothly, except where the ocean extends all around the Earth as it does around the Antarctic continent.
Well, I mean, Blondie said it best.
What's up, man?
Said Blondie said it best. The tide is high.
We observe the effect of these tidal bulges only after they have traveled northward up the Atlantic.
I was watching this on YouTube. And
nice, right?
Really nice explanation.
Yeah, very cool. We're almost there, like a minute and a half away.
Pacific and Indian Oceans. These oceans are vastly different in size, shape, and depth, and affect the movement of tides in different ways. In the Pacific Ocean, which is the largest and deepest of the oceans, the tides are about what we would expect. There are 2 high tides each day, but they are not of the same height.
I'm still looking for an answer to my.
In the Atlantic Ocean, however, the effect of the north and south movements of the sun and moon is nearly cancelled by the shape and size of the ocean.
Almost there, Dross. Hold on. One more minute.
The 2 high tides each day are nearly equal. Because tidal bulges are restricted by land masses, and because they must travel great distances from the Antarctic Ocean, they may not arrive exactly when the sun or moon is overhead. The high tides usually occur several hours after the sun or moon has passed overhead. Tides behave differently in various places on the oceans. However, if we measure the tides at any one place by reading the height every hour, or by using a machine to make a continuous record, we can learn enough about tides at that place to predict them very accurately. By collecting tide information from many countries, we can make tide tables for any place in the world. Anyone who needs to know the time and height of tides can find this information in the tide tables. Ships that go far up rivers on the high tides must know when high and low tides will occur. Large ships in New York Harbor prefer to come to the dock and leave when the tidal currents are weakest. This makes it easier for the tugboats to guide the ocean liners into the channel. Even very large ships must know when the tidal currents and the depth of water are safe for entering and leaving harbors. Shipping, fishing, and sailing must be planned to fit into the eternal rhythm of the tides.
How dare you plan anything?
Bastards.
Jose, I've also posted in the debate chat a nice little animation between the difference between neap and spring tides as well. So it might be useful.
We want to post it in the Daily Boom Uncensored?
Yeah.
Dross, is your question or comment about tides?
No, I was on a totally different topic, and I'm going to stick to it and not interrupt.
Perfect. Yeah, let's wrap up with tides first. Brian Mavitt, did he explain a little better? I mean, you know what I am. I understand I understand the video, but I cannot explain it myself. Where are you with this?
I think I'm a damn sight worse now than what I'll have to stop. Now,
Why?
are they saying these are caused by gravitational pulls coming from the sun and the moon?
Yes.
Yes.
So how is it that the ISS isn't affected by them? How is it
It
when
is.
the man flew to the moon, they were weightless and not affected by this tidal, this pull of gravity?
They are affected by gravity.
No, they're not.
Yes,
Yes,
they are.
No, they're
Everything's
not.
affected by gravity. They are.
Show you footage of them floating around in a capsule.
Because they're in an orbit. Because they're actually when they're actually going to the moon, they're actually in an orbit. It's just that their orbit is getting bigger because they're going into elliptical orbit to intercept the moon. So yes, they are. Same with the ISS. They're constantly falling, which is balanced against the velocity. So they're constantly orbiting around the moon. So they are all affected by gravity.
That's why they call it free fall.
Correct.
They still have mass and there is gravity. There is gravity in space. There's gravity bloody everywhere.
So why don't we see them go slamming across onto the side of the ISS?
Why would you?
When the moon goes past, the angle of the gravity must change.
No. You don't know how orbits work.
No, I'm not talking about orbits. I'm talking about them going through the gravitational pull of the moon.
Oh.
Brian, let me ask this question. Why do you think, if that is the case, that impact would be so severe that it would slam them against the side of the ISS rather than maybe move them a millimetre towards it? Let's just take that as a stupid hypothetical.
Okay.
So what's your thinking behind why it would have that powerful an effect just because you're crossing that point on the orbit?
I think it's 9 o'clock.
What is it lifting up on Earth?
No, answer the question that I just asked.
I'm trying to. What is it lifting up 30, 40 feet on Earth?
Yeah,
trillions and trillions of tons of water.
Mm-hmm.
Water is one of the most densest fucking liquids we've got.
What?
We are made
No.
of water, and water, billions and trillions of tons of it, are lifted 30, 40 foot high, yet it doesn't affect anybody that is actually closer to the source of the gravity.
It does.
Oh dear.
No, it doesn't.
Right.
Yes,
Listen.
it does.
No, it does not.
Says you.
Brian,
It is fucking lunacy.
Brian, listen. If it's going to pull the people inside the ISS, it's going to pull the ISS too.
Exactly the
They
same.
wouldn't see anything. They can't feel anything because everything is moving at the same rate.
Do you not think that the ISS actually has more mass than the astronauts inside it?
So it would pull the ISS up towards the moon, would it?
Oh, God's teeth.
Yeah.
Probably a little bit, yeah.
Tiny bit, yeah. But there's a bigger thing called the Earth,
Earth.
It's fucking
which
ridiculous.
which holds more mass, doesn't it, Brian? Which is holds more gravity, doesn't it, Brian?
Look out, he's on script now.
Guys,
All
okay.
that
Another
nonsense.
time.
He's on
The
script.
biggest load of nonsense I have ever heard.
Are we trying to explain orbital mechanics to Brian again?
Yeah, I don't know why, because
Yeah,
he's just.
please
Are you
do.
serious? I mean,
No,
what
it's a
are you doing?
performance. He's
Alright,
in
can I-
character now.
Let me
Anything
jump in. 1 second,
that
Brian.
is orbiting another body has got to take on the speed of that other body, whatever it's doing. Got to.
Please allow me to read a
Else
super
it
chat.
won't be orbiting
Super chat.
it for very long.
Brian, shut up.
Brian.
Farmers.
Fuck
We got a super chat by Tusk for £5. Shout out to Tusk. Thank you, sir. I think one of my thumbs might be a vampire. I have no reason to think that, or any evidence really, but if Brian can talk utter shit, so can I. Shout out to Tusk. Tusk, your thumb might be a vampire.
I've never seen your thumb in daylight.
I'm trying to put these right on gravity.
Oh dear.
No, they argue with his misses now.
Sue's having to go at him again. Come on, Sue.
Hi, Sue. Hi, Susan.
Hi, you all right?
Hello.
What's up? We are again the weirdos on the internet yelling at each other.
Oh, I know he's a right weirdo, isn't he?
You know it.
You married him.
Yeah, it should have been April the 1st instead of April the 2nd.
You don't tell them that sort
Oh
of
dear. Can I just say, Sue, that you have my deepest sympathies.
Let's say that Brian must have redeeming characters traits.
Yeah, he must have.
Good times, man.
Well, he might have done once.
Yeah, once.
There you go.
Oh no, twice.
You've got the Earth doing 4 different vectors at
Here we
4
go.
different speeds. You've got the Moon going around the Earth that's rotating apparently now at
Which
5
script are you reading from, Brian?
That's why we only see the one
Brian,
face
get
of
it out.
it. Because if the Moon wasn't rotating, we would see the back side of it, the other side of the Earth. So they've had to now say the Moon is rotating exactly the speed it needs to show one face to the Earth.
Yeah, funny how that happens.
Yeah,
Called tidal locking.
All of this is complete and utter hogwash.
No, it's just physics, Brian.
And the
No,
Earth is not unique as well because it
complete-
happens all over the
chances
universe.
Of this happening,
Tidal locking is
absolutely
not unique.
perfect to keep you in your fantasy is many, many trillions of zeros.
Let's hear what
There
they have
is
to say,
no
Brian.
way
Finish your point and then we heard them.
could ever do what you say it does perfectly in time. It is fucking ridiculous.
There it is. Hold on, guys. One person at a time, Brian. That's good. Just give the other guys a minute so they can address any of the points that you say before, and then you can have a go after they speak.
I think I can say you're trying to say it's this weird statistical oddity, yet we observe it multiple times in our solar system.
No, you don't.
And all over the universe as well. It's not unique to Earth.
No, you don't.
Yes, we
And
do.
here's the other problem. It's
No, you
happening.
don't.
So
You don't
now
know
you have
what-
to explain that.
Yes, we do.
Hold on, Brian, you interrupted Bob there.
Yeah.
Brian, Bob,
ridiculous.
we're having a go. Let Bob finish his point, man.
Yeah, well, the bottom line is there it is. We can see that it's happening. We have a good
Yeah.
explanation for it.
Yeah.
Do you have a different one? It's not impossible because we see it happening.
No, we're into eliminating. That's what we're into. Like we've eliminated this bit living on a curved spinning surface. That's been eliminated now. There's
I've
no
measured
evidence
both.
to prove that.
I've
Oh,
measured
I see.
both,
So
therefore,
what it is.
there it is.
So, Bob, go ahead.
It's a method of elimination.
Yeah,
We
but the bottom
now
line is
know
we've actually measured it.
test and
We've actually
experiment.
measured it, and there
There
it
is
is. So you
no
still have to explain it.
curvature, and there is no 4 rotations that the Earth is supposed to be doing.
What 4 rotations would
It's
those be, Brian?
absolutely ridiculous.
Brian, what are the 4 rotations?
You know what they are.
No, I want to
Yeah.
hear it from you. What are the 4 rotations you're claiming?
Yeah, I'm not sure, Brian. Let's hear it.
The spin of the Earth,
That's 1.
Rotation, uh-huh.
the Earth orbiting the Sun,
That's 2.
the Earth chasing the Sun orbiting the Great Attractor.
What?
Chasing the sun?
Wrong.
Yeah.
You can eliminate that one.
See,
No,
you
that
don't
one-
even know your own frigging model.
No,
we do.
no. The sun is
sun-
rotating the great attractor. The Earth is rotating the sun. It has nothing to do with the great
The
attractor.
Sun orbits a Great Attractor, apparently.
Yes, and we orbit the sun. It has
And
nothing to
then
do
the
with the great
whole-
attractor. So
The whole
Yeah,
galaxy
we're still on number 3,
is
Brian.
orbiting the universe.
Okay, we're still on number 3, Brian.
The galaxy is orbiting the universe.
So hold on,
Like-
guys. Let Brian, myself, and Bob, because I'm learning from Brian, and Bob is helping us out. Brian, Brian. The first movement is the rotation of the Earth. All right. Now,
Okay,
good.
I got that.
The second movement is the Earth around the sun, orbiting the sun. Good. So
Good.
far, so good. The third one, Brian, because I never heard of the Earth chasing the sun. They're never chasing the sun. So which one would be number 3? Let's see.
The Sun is orbiting the Great Attractor.
Yeah, but that doesn't have anything to do with the Earth.
Of course it does.
Why?
If the sun's
Why?
fucking off that way, we've got to keep up with it.
We're rotating around. We're
Fucking
orbiting around the
idiot.
sun. We go where the sun goes. because our orbit is around the sun. What the sun does on its own has nothing to do with us. We simply follow the sun in orbit.
We follow the sun. Yes.
Yeah.
The sun.
Yeah, that's
is
the orbit of
going
the Earth around the sun.
150,000 miles an hour, apparently.
No, Brian. We
around
orbit the
great
sun. We
attractor.
go wherever the sun goes.
This
We just
means
continue
we
to orbit.
have to
Brian,
follow the
you
sun.
keep screaming over me. It's not going to work.
Okay,
Now,
but
we
Brian,
orbit the sun.
Brian, hold on, Brian. Bob first, and then you.
We orbit the
Bob
sun.
first. Go ahead.
We orbit the
is how
sun,
they pickle
and
the
it doesn't
fucking
matter
brain,
where the sun is
Brian.
going. We're simply orbiting the sun.
You
So
have
our little
gain
universe
the
is
sun's
orbiting
speed,
that
you
sun.
complete and utter
He can't
moron.
stay quiet, can he, Jose?
You are a moron.
It's incredible, Brian. Come on, man. Let's try to have a fun back and forth, but not like, talking over
Right.
him.
Jose,
So the bottom
do
line
a
is
little
there's
test?
a thing
Can you
called
do
a hill sphere.
Talking over each other, guys. You're talking
All
over
right.
each other.
Well, there's a thing
Jose,
called a
can
hill
you
sphere,
do a
and that
test
is
for
the
me
area.
and just prove this point?
Okay, Jose, when he's done, let me know.
Right, we'll let you know. Shut up. Shut up. That's it. Sit down. Jose, get your wife to sit in a car. You start walking around it like you're orbiting it, and then get her to move and see if you
Not
can
the
still
same.
orbit the car without changing your speed to the speed of the car. Shut up!
That was funny.
His dogs don't even listen to him. Well, here, let's make it a little easier for you. Let's get a merry-go-round, Brian, and put it in the back of a flatbed truck. Now, you tell me how that merry-go-round's going to change if the truck drives around in a circle.
We're orbiting the sun. The sun's fucked off because it's orbiting the great attractor.
So is how is
Fucking bunch of idiots.
so how is somebody
Fucking
so
morons.
please explain how somebody walking around a car that is moving is the same as is orbiting. How is that the same, Brian? Explain.
Here, let's make it easy for him, Brian.
I'm not orbiting the
sun
car, I'm walking around it though, am I? I'm
Here,
not
let's-
orbiting the
You
car.
have to do the speed. The
Let's
sun's
make it easy for
orbiting
Brian to
the body.
understand. The moon is orbiting around the Earth, and the Earth is orbiting around the sun. Does that mean that the moon is orbiting around the sun or going someplace
The
that the
moon
Earth is going?
has to end up being the fastest fucking body. Has to. Because it's got.
All right, no, you
flying
haven't answered the
fucking
question.
movement.
The moon is in orbit around the Earth, and the Earth itself is in orbit around the sun. Does the moon orbit the sun directly?
Yes.
How so?
It does with us. We're orbiting it, so it.
Correct. It goes with us.
So
But
it is orbiting the
Is
fucking
the moon
sun.
in orbit around the sun, or is it in orbit around the Earth?
It is orbiting us, which we're going around the
Okay,
sun.
there you go. So it's orbiting us. It's orbiting relative to us, Brian.
It has
We
to
are
do
moving,
the
but
speed
it is
we are
orbiting
doing.
relative to us. It
Yes.
has nothing to do with anything
We
else.
are doing 66,000 miles around the sun. Now
How'd you
tell
measure that,
me
Brian?
how the moon can orbit us if it's not doing the same speed.
Okay, does the moon have to speed up on one side of its orbit
It
based
would
on
have
the
to,
orbit of the... Okay, so what accelerates the moon?
It doesn't, you fucking idiot. This is what your
Yet there it is.
knows. It's complete and utter horse shit.
Okay, so what force accelerates the moon on one side of its orbit and
It
slows it down on
doesn't
the other?
because there isn't any.
Yet there it is. So how do you explain that?
There isn't any fucking orbits.
Well, yeah,
It's so fucking ridiculous.
you can see it. It's right there.
If the slowest body has to end up being the fastest body because it's orbiting us, we're orbiting the sun. The
Here,
sun
you can
is
have him back,
orbiting the
Jose.
great
He's all
attractor,
yours.
and the great
Oh, my.
attractor is going around the fucking universe at 250,000 miles an hour, apparently. Now, for us to stay with that, now my throat's
He's
going.
losing his voice, lads. It's going.
For us to
You can
stay
thank
with
us
it,
later, Sue.
we have to do that speed. We have to, else it would leave us behind.
Go on, Brian.
It is as simple as that.
Brian, you're not in shape. Right.
It's fucking ridiculous what they've told you.
Yeah, we know.
Absolutely fucking ridiculous.
So okay, I accept your claim that the moon and the Earth
Not my
orbit the
claim.
sun.
It's fucking
Brian,
fact.
you didn't hear me. Why you start talking? So I accept the fact that the Earth and the moon orbiting the sun. Now, how can they orbit the same speed if the moon is moving one direction half of the time, and then the other direction the other half of the time?
They can't.
It must be.
This
It
is not
must
how
be
it fucking
accelerating.
works.
It must be
Your model
accelerating.
is completely. Shut up.
Droid, you're
Even the
aggravating
dog's
me.
had
Your model
enough.
is completely fucking ridiculous.
I know that dogs don't like
Completely
people shouting.
ridiculous.
Yeah.
The moon has to keep up with the speeds we are doing. We have to keep up with the speeds the sun is doing.
But it's not.
And the sun has to keep up with the speeds that
Brian,
great
if you draw it,
Shut up.
Brian, if you draw it, you'll see that it must be decelerating half of the time and accelerating the other
I
half of
know,
the time.
and that's what makes it fucking ridiculous.
Hey, if you spin a ball over your head on a string and you walk around, does that change the speed of the ball?
No, but it's connected, isn't
Okay,
it?
there you go.
You're transmitting your speeds through that piece of string.
Yeah, gravity does the same damn thing, Brian.
No, it fucking doesn't.
Gravity is exactly like that string. It's doing exactly the same thing. Don't tell me no, goddammit. I'm not going to listen to that shit.
Yeah, Brian, hold on.
I love it when they destroy their own arguments.
All right, guys, I need to jump in. Brian, you probably missed the beginning of the video clip that I was showing, because the video started with explaining this concept. Like, if the Earth, if I was the sun and the Earth was a ball and I'm holding it with a string, I'm just spinning it around, and the Earth is keeping the same location, but that's because then you got the centripetal force and then the force of gravity acting upon it. So the Earth is doing the orbit because of both forces are acting, canceling each other. So you missed the beginning, and it's all due to gravity and the centripetal force. There's no string. You can think of it as if there was a string, because the same effect is happening, but it's the forces creating these effects.
I know, darling, he's an idiot.
I mean, I don't know if that was kind of worse out of the way I explained it, because I'm bad at explaining, but it makes sense to me.
No, it made perfect sense, Jose. I don't think anybody over the age of 12 would struggle with that.
You explained it fine, Jose. That's exactly what it's doing.
And now I understand when people say, like, gravity is not a force, but you can think of it as if it was, because in this example, you can think of the Earth being held to the sun with a long string, and then you're rotating it around, but there's no string because you got the centripetal force trying to pull away from the sun, and then you got the force of gravity pulling into the sun, but they both got the same strength, so they cancel each other. So there's no string, but you can think of it as a string, so just for illustration purposes only. So I understand the concept better now.
People who don't understand basic concepts try and play with definitions.
Good point.
Just very basic physics.
AFK for 5 minutes.
Oh, is that Gary on the dark side of the moon?
Yeah, Gary, your mic is awful.
The things globe captively. It's crazy.
Oh, good grief.
Think flat Earth is silly. Gravity is string now.
No, nobody said gravity is string.
Velcro to the Earth.
No, nobody says that either, moron. No, nobody says that.
No, we don't think flat Earth is silly. We think science denial is interesting. That's what we're here for. We're not really interested in the flat Earth.
I think Gary's string has dried out, which is why we can't hear him very well.
Gary, when you get a better mic and want to participate in something like this with a clear mic, I'll respond.
I'm on a Bluetooth.
I'm not worried about you.
Excuses, excuses.
Bobby is not going to kill you.
We can barely understand you, Gary.
Yeah, blow $30 on a decent mic. Get a set, or get a set of AirPods or something or other, something that actually transmits. Or just listen and learn something.
I'll change my Bluetooth.
Yeah. And of course, it's our fault that we can't hear it, you know.
Yeah, I'm getting about every third word is it.
Yeah.
Is that derp, derp, or derp? Because it's just a cacophony of derp, 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 derp.
Yeah, like I said, to be a globe, you got to believe crazy shit. Now gravity is a string.
No, it's not.
You got the Earth Velcroed.
No, there's no Velcro. No, you're lying.
Well, that's what you.
No, there he goes again.
I mean, you just used the string example 3 different times. I'd like to see you swing this ball Earth, swing it around the sun with a string attached to a moon, and watch the moon orbit perfectly like it always does with the string attached. I mean, come on.
Called an analogy, Gary. It's to help people with simple minds understand the concept.
It's a piss poor analogy, Bob. You need to go back to the drawing board.
It's a great
and try
analogy. It
another
works
one.
just fine.
Oh yeah, it's really great. A string. Try to figure that out in your brain.
Yeah, we have no problem with it.
Come on, a string. We'll have 3 little balls here. One's a sun. Attach the string from the sun to the Earth. While it swings the Earth around, it's going to swing the moon around on another string. Your analogy is just stupid.
Sure. I can swing a ball over my head in a circle while riding on a train. I've got multiple objects moving, and
what
the
does
train
that
can be
got
going
to
in
do
a
with
curve.
with the moon orbiting the Earth at the same time it's going around the sun?
Yeah,
nothing.
Quite easily.
Yeah, works fine.
Okay, like I said, the things you have to believe to be a globey is silly. And you can be
That's
flat
just a
Earth
basic
silly.
concept. It's very easy to understand.
It's not a basic concept. It doesn't match at all. You can't even do it in theory.
The problem, Bob, is that you're using an analogy that we use on small children. We need to think of which analogy.
You're using an analogy
that makes
if you let me finish, Gary, if we can think for a minute, maybe we can come up with an analogy that would work on a, let's say, German Shepherd, because that's what you're talking to.
Well, I think maybe.
Yeah, I am talking to a German Shepherd. I'm talking to a dog. Yeah. No, I agree.
Okay, I got it. I got a great example, right? If I have in a long string, I am rotating a dog around me, right? And then this dog, in him, there's a flea, and this dog has got a string on the flea, and the dog is just rotating the flea, right? So the dog is rotating the flea. I'm rotating the dog. You have one of the giants, Neanderthal, a giant of 25 foot tall, is rotating me. So there you go. That's a bunch of orbits. The giant is rotating me. I'm rotating the dog. The dog is rotating the flea. There's no problems with that. And then this giant is also standing in a rotating platform. And this rotating platform is going, hauling ass very fast in some kind of a curve, zigzagging road. What's the problem with it?
That was dirty. That's why your channel is failing. That's why your channel is failing. Because you're getting less and less people watching it all the time. Nobody wants to participate in the show anymore. It's just silly.
Go on then. Go on then.
That we have to
Why'd you keep coming here, Gary?
Now the Earth and the sun and the moon.
Why are you here, Gary?
To each other and,
Gary, why are you here?
Why are you here? In that case,
steer our cars to adjust for Coriolis. And
such a waste of time, Gary. Why are you here, Gary?
This is always Galileo. Pretend it's there, and then we say it's all good, and look at our math works, our model works, and it doesn't.
Our math does work, Gary.
Perfect. Now,
only
what's
if
your
you
problem with that, Gary?
things.
Perfect, Gary. Now, do you want to give a legit answer? Like, what's your problem with that example that I gave? That my channel is failing? That's not an answer to the example that I gave.
No.
Well, no. My point was your answer was so stupid that your analogy was so stupid. That's why your channel's failing.
It makes more sense
that
you. It makes more sense than any of your explanation because you don't have any. I'm giving you the opportunity, Gary.
Every day.
Gary, I'm giving you the opportunity to give an alternative or an answer or any explanation, but you haven't given any. So that means that my example and my analogy was 100% better than yours, that it was non-existent. Do you have an explanation?
So Gary, the moon orbits the Earth and the Earth orbits the sun. We say it's gravity. Go ahead and tell me how you think that works.
It doesn't work
It doesn't work.
Wasn't talking to you, Brian.
Yeah, but
He
I
was
mean,
talking
we
to
observe it
Gareth.
happening.
Gareth.
So how does that happen?
Yeah, the question was how does it work? It's not that if it works or not. The
Yeah,
question is
that's
how
not
does it
in
work?
question. It does work because we observe it happening. So how does it work, Gary?
No, it
It works
doesn't
because you have a God who created the heavens and the earth, who placed the sun, moon, and stars within to be for signs and seasons, days and years.
So
Just like
Gary
we
answer
see
is that
them,
because
he set them
God
in
did it.
motion, he keeps them
God
in
did it.
motion,
So
he
how did God do
sustains
that,
their
Gary?
motions, and they've been doing it for how many thousands of years?
So Gary,
You
how
don't
did
have to describe how they
so
do
Gary,
it.
how did
You
God
would just
do that?
imagine a string is doing it.
So
You
Gary,
imagine
how
that,
did
but they're all
God
tied
do
together
that?
with
What,
strings and
Gary?
Velcro, and we make up a math to fit it. That's
You're trying
ridiculous.
to denial mute here. So how did God do that? How did He set those in place and set them in motion?
They spoke and they became, and they set them in motion.
So
and
simply
they
by
did
His
their
will.
magic. The sun, yes, because that's what God is.
Okay, so it's magic. Okay, I got it.
You like to believe there's no God, so you got to make up a bunch of derp like strings attached to a moon and sun and earth, and they're
Actually,
all
Gary, I'll
swinging
address
around
that.
on a string,
I
and
will
they're all
address
and the
that
earth,
if you'll
the
stop
atmosphere is
talking,
attached
Gary.
to the earth by Velcro.
I'll
You
address
got all
it
kinds
if
of
you'll
garbage
stop
that you have to
talking,
come up
Gary.
with.
Give Gary 30 more seconds. Oh, you done, Gary. Perfect. Mute and Bob, go ahead.
Great.
Just not interrupt.
So, Gary, it doesn't mean simply believing in science does not mean you don't believe in God. Can you not believe that God created scientific laws to regulate the universe on autopilot once He set it in motion?
It's possible that you made up a whole entire system and math.
Gary, answer
And
my
that's all, and it's
question
not
that I
real.
asked you very clearly and very politely. Are you telling me that God does not have the power to create physical laws that control objects within His realm? Yes or no?
In the Bible, he says you can't even measure all this stuff. You
Gary,
make up your measurements. You
that's
make
not
up
a
a
yes
system
or a no.
because you
Does
cannot
God
measure the
have
height of the
power?
heavens. Nobody
Does
can
God
measure it.
have
You
the
can
power to
imagine it what
create
you want it to
physics?
be, and you can make a math. But that's why you guys continually change your
Gary,
model because the math doesn't work ultimately. That's why you guys have changed
Gary,
the
please,
distance from
let
Polaris
me
from
answer the question, Gary.
434 light years to 323 light years.
Gary, let me
It
answer the
doesn't
question.
work.
Let me answer the question, Gary, so we can move on. Bob, I would like to give you an answer to your question from religion and God believer point of view. Yes, Bob, God could have created everything, so He was able to create maths and science and equations and everything, so we can discover it and understand it and model everything.
So therefore, a belief in God does not exclude science, and science does not exclude a belief in God.
Yeah, it's a cop-out.
But he also says that you can't measure the heights of the heavens, and you think you can, but you can't.
Where is
That's why you guys are constantly
Come on,
changing
let's
everything.
do a
All your
citation,
measurements are
Gary.
constantly changing because
Gary,
your original ones didn't
citation.
work. How many
Gary,
different
citation.
distances to the sun have we had over the
Gary,
centuries?
Gary,
Numerous ones. How many
citation.
distances
There's only
to
been
Polaris?
one
Numerous
distance to the
ones.
sun, Gary.
We keep getting different measurements all the time. Listen,
No, you don't,
just the
Gary.
measurements
No,
for us alone went from 434 to 323. That's 111 light years.
The
That's
answer to your question, Gary, is
miles
there
per
is
light
one
year.
distance
And
to
that's
the
not
sun,
that little
and
difference.
it was determined 2,500 years ago. And that was the correct distance.
He does know
Doesn't
the
that
distance
just
of
blow
the
your
sun is
mind?
not. He does know the distance of the sun is not constant, right? He knows that, right? Surely.
But the bottom line is
yeah,
we
of course
figured
it's
out
not
the distance to
constant.
the sun 2,500 years ago geometrically. The only thing that was changed in
they
that
come up with
time.
multiple
All right,
different
you're
amounts of
talking
distance
over
to
me
the
again,
sun.
Gary.
And yes, you guys talk
Can you
over
not
me, so
control
shut up,
yourself,
Bob. You're
Gary?
not the boss. You can go to shit.
Can you not control yourself, Gary?
There he goes
What I
again.
said was geometrically, we
Bob,
determined the distance to the sun 2,500 years ago. The only thing that's different is the accuracy of the measurements we need to put a number on that. That's the only thing that's changed.
So you just basically did say you did change. You don't know. You didn't know then. You don't know now. You guess. You came up with a system. They created an idea. They made a math to fit the idea, and then they say, "Oh, look, this is it." But just like you can have a sun that could be much smaller and closer, and you can have a math that looks identical to how big you see it in the sky.
I got a very important point I have to say.
I got to go in the house. I got to take a shower because I got to bring my wife.
Thank you, Gary. Very important point. I cannot give you time. Charlie Welch, you need to delete that comment. That has a lot of words that YouTube is not happy
yeah.
with those. So
Yeah.
please delete that comment yourself. I can do it with a timeout. It doesn't give me the option to remove the comment. So please delete it yourself. Shout out to Ben Delight. Damn, we weren't able to get the answer to this question. Ben Delight with a $5 super chat. Gary, why do you think angles are made of rubber bands? That was a great question. I'm sorry we didn't get to it. Hopefully, Gary comes back and we can ask him the question again. I'm gonna save this one.
Boy, I hope you're wrong about that.
Yeah.
The more you know. I'm giving Charlie a few more seconds. It's that 30 seconds that he should have received the message now. Go ahead, Blue.
I don't know why Orbit's confused these guys so badly. I really don't.
I do like that if all else fails, invoke your God.
Yeah, when you run out of every other excuse, use that one.
Yeah. Yeah.
Orbits are
Invoke your
confused,
God
not
and quote
because
the Bible.
orbits are tough. It's a difficult concept if you don't understand basic concepts in science, like gravity and centrifugal force.
Well, orbits aren't mentioned in the Bible, so yeah.
You know, we've measured things in orbit very easy, and it's something that we can all do. So I don't understand why he hasn't done it.
Are you watching my stream, Jose?
And again, this is whatever your subject is, whatever you're tracking. I just so happen to be tracking myself, so I am orbiting myself. See that?
It's not the same as a water mechanics, Brian. Completely different.
That's not an orbit.
Exactly. That's a powered vehicle, for Christ's sake. It's got nothing to do with orbits. Jesus wept.
Where's he gone now?
Well, you have to understand the basic concept of what an orbit is before you can discuss it, really.
Right. Yeah, no, I agree, Bob.
All right, let me let Brian know. You're up on screen, but you got it. Yeah, thank you for muting whatever background sound that were going on there.
Yeah, it was the sound on the video. I've muted it.
Is this video of you? You recorded yourself?
No. This was offline. Right.
He's trying to compare that to orbits. That
right.
drone is not orbiting that person because it's a powered vehicle.
Let's hear Brian make his point first. I think we talked about this a few weeks ago. Let's revisit it.
Right. If you watch in the bottom left-hand corner, you see the feet per second. Now, as it's going, let's call this side the leeward side and the left-hand side of him the windward side. Now he has to speed up. The drone has to speed up to match his speed. If you watch, now it slows down to 5. Then it has to start speeding up to match his speed. Else it would never orbit him. It's now up to 19 feet per second.
Ryan, do you see the two numbers?
On his right-hand side, it's like 5 feet per second.
Ryan, hello.
This has got to happen.
Ask him if he had me muted, the idiot.
Anybody that is orbiting another body that is moving, it has to gain the body that it's moving speed to still stay in orbit with that body. Ever so simple.
Brian, do you see the two numbers right to the number you talk about? Do you see them?
Do I see them? I've just pointed them out.
There is a distance in one direction and distance in the other direction. Are they constant?
Feet per second.
No. Right to feet per second. There is a horizontal line and a vertical line. Do you see them?
That's elevation. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about this drone.
What elevation?
What elevation? Up and gain the speed.
Yes, it does. So is it in a constant elevation? And it's constant, Brian.
Absolute.
Is it in constant elevation? and constant distance.
Doesn't matter.
Brian.
It does not fucking matter.
Brian,
Let him
stop
talk. Fucking hell.
shouting for 1 second. Let me
It
finish
doesn't matter.
But
Listen,
of course it
talk.
matters.
Fucking hell.
It doesn't
It
matter
gets
whether it's an inch off the
closer
floor
and
or fucking
farther
6 foot off the
away.
floor. It
What
does
do you
not
want?
matter.
Brian, come
It
on,
gets
man.
closer and farther away,
It's
higher and
just
lower.
the
What
game
do you
Say,
expect,
I'd like to hear what
Brian?
Chike's got to say. Can you mute him?
He haven't. Yeah, no. Let's try not to. Let's try not to. Brian, listen to me. Chike is able to speak his first statement, but when he's ready to ask you a question, to ask his question, you have always interrupted him for 3 or 4 attempts now. Can we let Chike at least finish asking his question before you? If you want to repeat what you've been repeating all the time, it's cool. But I would like an answer to his question. If you cannot answer his question, it's cool. But we all in the audience, almost 50 people watching, we want to hear Chike's question. Let's respect that. You've been talking for a bit. Let Chike ask his fucking question, for fuck's sake.
Brian, the drone is getting closer and farther all the time, as well as it's get higher and lower. What do you expect it not to change speed?
Right, the still that I've stopped it on now is going in the linear. It's going in the linear way that the body it is orbiting is going. It has to increase its speed to that body's speed to stay in an orbit around it. Now I'm going to stop it on the other side where it is got the orbiting body is going now.
Not orbiting.
The opposite direction, and we will see it slows down to about 6 feet per second. It has to. All bodies that orbit another body.
He's just repeating himself over and over and over again. What's the point?
That body's speed.
Okay, perfect. All right, now I need 20 seconds. 20 seconds.
That'll do me, mate. That'll do me. I just wanted to prove the point.
That's perfect,
But
Brian.
how far away or how close it is.
Stop talking then.
Fuck, Brian. I need a few seconds because I need to thank two people that just hooked me up and just completed my day, because I was like $10 short to finish my electric bill pay. And as soon as I asked, I have completed the accomplishment for today, and we got Hold On and Biggest Dogus who came through big time, man. That's fucking awesome. So Hold On, he gave me $20, not for snacks. Indeed, Hold On, not for snacks. And I got right now, because also Biggest Douglas gave me an extra $10. So I needed 10, I got 30. So I got 10 by Biggest and 20 by Hold On, because I got $20 extra. Those are to start the accumulation for the next month, which is by the 15 is for the internet bill. It's just a loop, man. It never ends. So I'm already ahead. I'm already 20 ahead, brother. But Biggest is asking a question here. Tell Brian to go, is a statement. Tell Brian, I'm telling you, go and learn about orbital mechanics and stop boring us to death with your drone example. Thank you very much, Biggest. What do you think about that sentiment, Brian?
I don't like it, because this has got to be happening. If you've got...
He's going to repeat himself again.
Shut the fuck up.
No,
let him do it. Let him. I hope he doesn't repeat himself. Maybe Brian. Maybe he's got a new point now. Let's give him a chance. Go ahead, Brian.
That chance.
Can you mute them all, please?
No, I can't.
Can't.
Impossible. Yeah.
We can mute you though if you don't watch it.
Then I don't want to keep repeating myself.
But you do.
Then.
See what I mean?
All you do is repeat yourself, Brian.
Right.
You've got a fucking script in front of you.
Body that is orbiting another body that is moving, it has got to gain and lose the speed of the body that it is orbiting. It has to stay in orbit.
What? Yeah, but why, Brian? Why do you say that?
What do you mean?
What are the mechanics of that? Why should it?
It's got to stay
Why?
in orbit with something that's moving.
What? Yeah, but why? You just keep saying it doesn't make it so.
If it's going to stay in orbit around that body, if he stands still, that can just orbit round him at a constant speed. But as soon as he moves, it has to gain the speed that he puts into his movement.
You can't use him and his drone because that's not an orbit. That's not how orbits work. This is your problem.
That is an orbit.
No,
it is not an orbit because it's a powered flight. An orbit is not powered.
It does matter. Brian, Brian,
you're
this is
fucking.
No,
this everything fucking orbits everything else.
This is where you're going wrong, Brian. You don't understand orbits.
The fastest. Now, in Jose's example, the flea on the dog would be travelling the fastest because it's doing its speed around the dog's speed around whatever it was orbiting, and the platform, whatever that was on.
That's not an orbit either.
Going the fastest.
It is not an orbit either, Brian.
They are orbits.
No, they are not.
And this is what makes your
even if it was
model. It is ludicrous.
Even if that was an orbit, Brian, what is the rotational speed of that drone around the guy? Is that constant or not?
When he stood still, it's perfectly constant.
Is it still the same rotational speed even though he's walking?
No, because it has to speed up.
Wait a minute. That's not right.
It has. Watch now. It speeds up to 19 feet.
No, count how much. Figure out how much time it takes that thing to go around the guy. That's the speed I'm talking about. How fast is it rotating around the guy? Is that changing?
How fast is it rotating around the guy?
Yeah. Forget about the fact that the guy's moving.
To increase its speed around.
So you're saying
the guy. It is quite simple.
No, Brian, that's not the way it works.
It is how it works.
No, Brian.
Exactly how it works.
Orbits are
Get your wife
Orbit.
to sit in a car. You start orbiting.
Orbits are a
I want to hear what Blue has to say.
Away, just at say 5 miles an hour. Get her to move, and you try and carry on your speed around it.
Orbits are at a constant angular velocity, Brian. A constant angular velocity. A circular orbit.
Brian.
And you would have to slow.
Brian, you're gonna keep getting server muted if you keep doing what you're doing. You're not allowing people to finish their points, and they are not doing what you did earlier, where you just wanted to repeat your point. We heard you 3 times, and you wanted to keep repeating. Let's not do that. I'm hearing new information, and I want to hear it uninterrupted. Can you just stop just interrupting everybody in the middle of the statements, please? Go ahead, Blue.
Now, the speed we're talking about, Brian, is the rotational speed, the orbital speed. The tangential velocity can be thought of like that in terms of the orbit, not some translation. You're talking about rotation with translation. That's a different thing. We're talking about the speed at which that drone is going around the guy in revolutions per minute, or whatever measurements you want to use, radians per second or whatever. Okay, that's a constant speed.
Good. Shout out to everybody watching. It's been an hour and a half, I think, or 2 hours into the show now. I appreciate it. 42 watching, 32 likes. Not too bad, buddy. There's a handful of people that haven't hit the thumbs up under the video, so please hit like now. Share the show around. I shared it in a few Discord servers. In one of them, I got automatically deleted the link, but oh well. And support if you can via PayPal or Super Chat. I have completed my accomplishment, but if anybody want to support for Jose's cheap cigars and drinks, now is the time. I really appreciate you guys. I miss this, man. Sorry, guys. I was unable to be here for a few days, but hopefully I'll be more constant and whenever I get me a call from any of the jobs that I apply around, I will find a window to do shows around my actual schedule. Gotta take care of business too. Boom.
Yep. Life gets in the way.
You know it. Yes, Citizen 9. I check. Let me just recheck and make sure that we got everything. Actually, no. Look at that. I got $10. This $10 by Citizen 9. Hell yeah! This is purely for snacks. Boom! Hell yeah! Thank you, Citizen. I appreciate that. Yeah, I just opened it because I had the 2 previous ones by Bigus and Hold On, but now I see that 10 came through. Thank you very much. I appreciate that, man. Hell yeah. You guys are awesome. Brian.
Hello.
Man. This is the second time that you present this drone, and they kind of clarify to you that when you say this is an orbit and this is the way it works, they telling you this is not how it works. They tell you why, but you insist. I mean, it's the second show, like for a few hours.
It'll sink in. Eventually, it will sink in. Anything that's orbiting another body that is moving, it has to take on that other body's speed. It's got to stay with it.
Keep repeating yourself, and maybe people will start taking you seriously, Brian. So say it another 10 times, why don't you?
Yeah. Well, basically,
it needs to be said 10 times for you to get it into your head. Then that's what will happen.
No, it's not going to go into my head when you're wrong.
Well, Brian's talking about the video that I put in the chat. The Morgile dealt with this also in his video. Basically, if you have a body orbiting another body, it has to speed up or slow down to overtake the body. It's like having a car go in circles around a pole. You have an orbit of that sort, that's fine. But if you try to have another car go around that car going around the pole, it has to speed up and slow down to keep pace with the truck. Morgile goes over it in the video that I put in the chat like 5 minutes in. It has to speed up and slow down. It can't have a constant orbital speed. So that's very hard to believe. What's giving that additional impetus of power slowing down the body to keep it, to help it keep up with the orbiting body? It doesn't make any sense.
It's not. It's rotating at the same.
It absolutely has to.
It's rotating at the same angular
There's
velocity.
the additional impetus of energy.
And in fact, let me put a video of mine in the chat where I explain every bit of this.
Is Morgile a trusted source? I kind of like just trusted sources.
You can always
I trust anybody who's open-minded and who consistently accounts for the data. Morgile is one of those for me.
Test this out by getting your wife to sit in the car, walk around it, and then get her to pull away, and see if you can carry on walking at the pace you were. You cannot.
You'd have to speed up and slow down, and so that implies additional impetus of energy. So what the thing speed up and
slow down, Lemon. When you are walking in its path, you've got to literally step sideways to stop that vehicle hitting into you. And at the back, you would have to chase after it as it's going away from you.
Once a junkie, never stop being a junkie. You'll never be trusted again, man. Sorry.
Well, I'm not asking him about drug use. I'm asking him about orbital mechanics. And as long as he's logical about that, I could give a damn about his other habits.
It's not about the habits. It's about the way he was lying to people just to accomplish, to fulfill his habits.
The main
so how am I going to trust him now when he was doing that earlier? Now he's changed. Now he's really not giving false information just to fill his habits. Now he's doing it because it's true, right?
You can be right about the shape of the earth and this sort of stuff and wrong about other stuff. As long as it's not about his habits, I really don't give a damn. But his point about the orbital mechanics stuff seems to be pretty spot on.
Well, to me, the Morgile don't have any credentials, any credibility, anything education-wise to tell me that he's a trusted source of information. Sorry.
So, Brian, let's say if we had a pendulum in a moving car that is swinging towards the front and the back. It should take longer time when it swings to the front, and it will rise lower because it spent all its energy accelerating, and then on the way back it should be faster and moving higher. Is that what you think?
Don't want to talk to you, Choit. You're talking shit.
It's a simple question.
It's simple shit.
Simple shit. Then
Fact is, as this video.
Don't tell me facts. I asked you a question, Brian.
I am not answering your question. I don't want to fucking
Then don't speak.
discussion with you. This is a fucking fact. If you are orbiting a body and the body is moving, you have got to take on the movement of the body you are orbiting.
No, you don't.
Yes, you do.
No, you don't.
Yes, you fucking do. You
No, you fucking don't.
fucking moron.
Flo!
He's a moron.
No, you're a moron, Brian.
Oh, the
You
irony
are
of
a
that
fucking
statement.
moron. Walk round your wife's car and get her to pull away.
You're a moron.
And then try and fucking carry on walking
I
around
asked you,
That's not an orbit.
without you having to speed up and slow
I
down.
asked you
You
a simple
fucking
question
idiot.
about the pendulum.
You
Brian.
are a complete fucking idiot.
Come on, one at a time. Hey, I want to welcome. We got a new person here, Luis. Shout out to Luis. This is not Luis from the old school Luis from the Jane Panda server.
No, it's not him.
What's up, man? How you doing?
I'm doing fine, thanks.
Good,
I have
good.
one question for Brian, though.
Go for it.
Fuck off, Lewis, you complete wanker.
You don't even know me, please.
Yes, I
Come
fucking
on.
do. Fuck off.
This
I
is the
have
Luis
only
from the
one
Jane Panda
question,
server,
please.
Brian.
Oh,
This is the new
oh.
Luis.
Lewis.
It's
This
not
is
Lewis
Lewis.
Hackett.
This is not Luis Hackett.
Yeah, it's not the same person.
Fuck
So,
off.
but why? We're having a good time here, please.
Fuck
Yes.
off.
Okay, my question is, in your guy and the drone video, in that situation, the guy is not pulling the drone in his direction. So, the example is moot. Contrary to an example with like, you playing with a yo-yo on a train, whether or not the train is immobile or moving, it doesn't change anything. The yo-yo behaves the same around you.
Absolute fact.
I heard you, Luis. No, I didn't hear Brian. He was bickering behind what you were saying, but I heard you, Brian.
Okay, I'll
Thank
repeat
you,
what I
Jose.
said. If
I'm
you
not gonna
are
ask
orbiting
anymore.
a body that
It
is
seems-
moving, you have got to take on the speed of that body you are orbiting.
No, have you
Well, you
ever
didn't
played
hear what he
yo-yo
said.
on a train?
Or sideways. You have
Brian, you didn't.
to take on
Brian,
the
that
speed
you.
of that body.
Brian, you're saying the incorrect thing because you weren't listening to what he was saying. You were talking over
I
him.
don't
Can
wanna
we?
talk to the cunt. I know
Well,
who it is.
you don't have to talk to him, but you gotta respect that. I want to hear him now without the bickering in the background. Go ahead, Luis.
Yeah. So, have you ever played yo-yo or done anything on the train? Whether or not the train is moving is irrelevant when it's about everything that's inside the train. So it's the same with the sun and the moon and the earth. If the sun did not exist, we would go in one direction or be completely immobile, it doesn't matter, and the moon would do the same movement around us. It doesn't matter whether or not there is a sun. That's all.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Big shout out to Truth Nurse. He gave me a €5 super chat. Thank you, Truth Nurse. Appreciate that. And he say, strawmanning garbage. Strawmanning garbage. As always, Earth and Moon both orbit their shared very center. Energy and momentum are conserved in all reference frames. Shout out to Truth Nurse. Thank you very much. How do you find the server, Luis? Where did you use to frequent around? Luis.
Okay, Brian. Brian.
Brian Tusk, want to talk to you, Brian.
I bet he don't want to talk to you.
I'm not stopping him.
Tusk, go ahead.
Let's try this, Brian. Imagine you're on an airplane, and the airplane is traveling at 500 miles an hour. Now imagine you've got a weight on a little string, and you spin that weight around in a circle. Are you telling me that that little weight is speeding up and slowing down by 500 miles an hour in opposite directions as far as you're concerned, as far as the pull on the string is concerned? Is that what you're saying?
Crickets.
He
Guess
lost
not.
interest.
I don't like cricket.
Guess not. Because that's exactly what he is saying.
Yes.
And we all know that that's not true.
Oh, dear.
All right, I got a comment by Citizen9, and it says, bear with me, guys, bear with me. I'm on it. I just want to put it on screen so we know. I just know I'm tagged in here. The more you know, Citizen9 says, the speed of that drone is measured in relation to the ground. The speed of that drone is measured in relation to the ground the guy is walking on. Where is the ground under the earth? Where is the ground under the earth that measures the speed of the moon? Where is the ground under the earth that measures the speed of the moon? I don't know. I butchered that. Fucking A, I always do. My English is not very good looking, guys. You gotta understand that.
Is Brian still here?
Yep.
Brian should still be here.
There he is.
Are you there, Brian?
I am.
Right, I want to ask you a question, right? I'm going to simplify this for you. Well, not for you.
Why are you going to simplify it for me?
I'm just going to, it's for
You're a
illustrative
moron.
purposes.
Actually, for
right?
me.
It's not just
Why
for
are you
you.
going to simplify it?
So, Brian, let me explain. Okay? Let me explain. I'm going to do this in stages, one at a time. It's easy to follow for both of us, okay? So, you're saying that an object that's orbiting another body has to assume the speed of that body, yes?
Yes.
Right, okay. So we'll take the Earth and the Moon, right, separately. We'll take everything else out, right? Like imagine that the universe is empty, other than the Earth and
So,
the Moon.
okay, we've got two bodies. One's stationary, is it? And one's rotating around it.
Well, let me finish. You didn't let me finish. So, say the Earth is moving, as you like to say, at 1,000 miles an hour at the equator, yeah?
No, that's not the orbit.
Oh, that's not what I said, Brian. You have to let me finish. Right, if we agree on the basic points, then we can move on.
Okay.
Right? So we are saying our Earth rotates at 1 revolution per day. But if you're going to use angular speed, it's 1,000 miles an hour, okay? We agree on that?
Yeah.
Okay. Does the Moon, therefore, move at 1,000 miles an hour?
Nope.
You just said if an orbiting object has to assume the speed of the body it's orbiting.
The Earth is stationary, it's rotating.
Oh, this is Brian. This is theoretical, right? Never mind flat Earth, stationary Earth.
Let me
the Earth is
then.
if the Earth is
walking
rotating,
around a
Brian,
ball,
try and be honest, just for a moment, please.
Let's give
just a
Todd the
moment. Try and
opportunity,
be
yeah,
honest.
to give his full,
That's a big ask.
exercise. Let's hear
So-
that exercise by Todd. Go ahead, man.
Using the globe model, right? If the Earth is rotating at the equator at 1,000 miles an hour, does the Moon then rotate at 1,000 miles an hour along with the Earth?
No.
You just said it did.
No, I didn't.
Yes, you did. You've said
No,
for the last
I
half an
fucking
hour.
did not.
You have been saying for the last half an hour.
No,
that
I
anybody
did
orbiting
not.
another body has to assume the speed of that body.
If it's moving, rotation is not moving.
What?
The Earth rotating is not it moving.
What's
Wow.
rotation then if it's not movement?
It is just rotating.
It's not moving, it's just rotating.
Orbiting, I said, not just moving. I said if something is orbiting another body in another vector, whatever is orbiting that body has to assume the speeds of the body.
Yes, so
that
we agree
it's
on that
orbiting.
then. That's what I've been saying. We agree on
No,
that.
you're not. Because spin is not orbiting.
Oh, Brian, please listen to what I'm saying.
I know exactly what you're saying.
No, you don't, because you're
Yes,
talking
I
about
do.
rotation isn't movement.
I know exactly what you're saying.
No, you don't. Right, am I right?
Yes,
Okay.
I
No,
fucking do.
No, you don't. You're trying to shout
Yes,
over me because
I
you know you've
fucking
trapped yourself.
do.
You know you've trapped yourself here, Brian, and there's nothing you can do but
No,
shout over me.
I have not. I am
Yes, you
not
have.
talking
You've
about.
completely trapped yourself.
I
You've
am
been saying
not
for the last half
talking
an hour
about the spin
Jose,
of
can
the
you mute
Earth.
him for a moment, please?
I never mentioned
Come
the
on, Brian.
spin of the
You're not
Earth.
there.
Yes, you
I mentioned
fucking liar.
the orbital speed of the Earth around the Sun.
He's getting there,
Jesus.
Brian. Let's hear
You're not
him.
fucking listening.
Oh, Jesus H. Christ.
He's getting
Okay.
there, Brian.
You
So,
don't listen.
so far we've got that you're completely denying what you just said, and now rotation
No,
isn't
I
movement.
am not denying it. I never mentioned the Earth's spin.
You can play around with definitions all you like, Brian.
I never
You
mentioned
have been saying
Earth's
since you came
spin.
on. Right, okay, forget Earth spin. We'll say Earth orbit then. Okay, does that make you happier?
Earth, let's for this instance say Earth is not spinning. It's a
So it has to be.
stationary
It has
body.
to be. You can't
No,
just
it
change
doesn't.
my model to suit yourself. This is a hypothetical. You don't just get to change the
The
parameters.
spin does not affect it at all.
Affect what?
Affect the speed of the moon orbiting us.
But you just said it did. You've been
No,
saying that
I
any
did
object
not.
orbiting has to assume the speed
Of the
object that's
orbiting
orbiting.
body.
What?
Do you not understand this?
Oh, you don't understand. You've just contradicted
Right,
yourself
let me
again.
explain again. The moon
No,
is
Brian.
orbiting the Earth.
Yes,
The Earth
the
is
Earth.
orbiting the Sun.
We're not talking
The
about the
Earth
sun.
is
One at
allegedly
a time.
doing 67,000 miles an hour around the Sun.
Brian, you can't just keep on shouting, hoping that I won't be able to speak, because that's not going to work.
I'm not bothered whether you fucking speak or not. I'm not.
I actually am. I'm being very patient, and I am just paying attention of the amount of time that one person is speaking versus the other person, and you're not giving him a fair chance, Brian. You don't need to give him a fair chance when it's in your house, in your channel. But over here, I would like to give people equal opportunity to talk both sides, and you're taking over big time. We need to hear the other people speak too.
Use the word spin or orbit, it doesn't really matter. If the Earth is spinning at 1,000 miles an hour at the equator,
fucking idiot.
You've said many times now that any object orbiting the Earth must assume the same speed. So therefore, is the moon also spinning or orbiting, whatever you prefer, at 1,000 miles an hour?
No.
Why not?
Because it doesn't take on the spin of the Earth. I am talking about the Earth's orbit around the Sun at 67,000 miles an hour.
I know that, Brian, but we're doing it one stage at a time.
Well, it doesn't affect the moon.
Therefore, right, the moon is moving around the Earth, which is moving around the Sun. Yes? In the globe model.
Yes.
Yes. So the moon is simultaneously moving at 1,000 miles an hour around the Earth in its orbit and 66,000 miles an hour around the Sun in that orbit. Yes.
So you can see that now, yes?
Yes, but that's what you've been denying.
The problem is, on one side of the Earth, it would have to speed up, and on the other side of the Earth, it would have to slow down.
Well, it
to
does very
stay
slightly in an
constant-
elliptical orbit. It's a very
Then
slight
it would have to
elliptical orbit.
change its vector when it is
No, it
in
doesn't
front
change
of
its
the
vector,
Earth
no.
and behind the Earth.
No, it doesn't change its vector at all.
I know it doesn't. It would
It
have
is in an elliptical orbit.
I got a clarification question over here. Question to clarify, and it's actually by Stevie B via a 10-pound super chat. Thank you, Stevie B. Brian, so why does the moon orbit us if we are stationary? Should it not be stationary at all by itself?
Right.
Please don't say
not
God,
saying
please.
anything is orbiting anything. We are discluding your ridiculous fucking model.
But the moon is orbiting us, right? And the Earth is stationary. And definitely the moon is orbiting us, or is in it?
For your model to work, the moon has to be going the fastest speed of everything.
I understand that, and I don't want like repetition right now. I heard that a bunch of time from yourself today, but why don't we like think about this? The moon orbit us, but the Earth is stationary from your perspective. I'm not talking about the globe now. I'm talking from what's on your mind. You think the moon doesn't move, doesn't rotate, so the moon orbit us, or doesn't it? Shouldn't it be stationary? By your logic, what you have been saying for the past hour and a half.
I don't know where you get this from. The moon allegedly orbits the Earth. Allegedly. This is all alleged, right? I'm not saying any of this happens.
Okay.
The moon goes around the Earth.
You're talking about the globe, right? You're not talking about what you think.
Your globe, yeah, it's your model.
But why do you have to do that? I'm trying to pick on your brain, and you're telling me what do you think? You don't have to tell me about the globe. I know about the globe. We all know about the globe, and we argue with you, telling you you're wrong. Why are you insisting in doing this? Talking me about you, talking me about what you think about the moon and the orbit.
You asked me if it was the globe. I said yes.
No. And now I'm telling you, I don't need to hear about the globe. This question is intended to you, to what you think is happening. Not on the globe, on your whatever not shapeless Earth is. Doesn't matter. Don't talk to me about the globe and how things work on the globe. I don't want to know how things work on the globe. I already know that. I want to know about your Earth. How does it work in Mavitt's Earth? Unless you can't, because I have attempted to do this. 2 years ago, I did a whole week on flat earthers to bring their evidence, talk about flat Earth, and maybe in 1 week, 3 hour show, that was about, 20 hours that we talk about giving flat Earth opportunity and non-globers opportunity to talk to us about, not about the globe, but about what they think it is. Maybe we had 10 minutes of that within, 20 or 30 hours. We had 20 minutes of how things work on a flat Earth. Everybody wanted to talk about the globe. Everybody wanted to tell us about the globe, how it's right or how it's wrong. I don't want to hear about the globe. I think we should move on and tell me what you think is happening. I'll mute myself.
Yeah, good point. What's happening on the flat Earth? How does it work?
I honestly don't know. Earth isn't flat, so.
Well, what is it then?
I don't know. It isn't.
What do you mean
flat.
you don't know?
I just got one question. It's kind of related to what we're talking about, but slightly different. I just wanted to ask Brian. It's two questions, but it might be just one, depending on how you answer. What is the moon, Brian?
I don't know.
You don't know what it is.
No.
So basically, what your whole premise really, or your whole premise of your whole argument with flat. Allow me to finish. Your whole premise of your argument about the Earth being flat is it's not a globe, but I don't know what it is. The moon isn't what we say it is, but I don't know what it is.
What it is.
It's not all to mechanics, but I don't know what it is. So, but somehow, with everything that you don't know, somehow you come to the conclusion that the Earth is flat.
He doesn't know what it is, but he knows what it isn't.
The Earth is flat. Yeah. The Earth is definitely not flat. We have mountains, valleys, hills.
Here we go. It's got terrain.
We know the surface we live on.
You've said many times, and I've heard you say it, Brian, that the Earth is flat. You said it yourself.
Let's get that out of the vocabulary.
Let's not pretend you don't think the Earth is flat. You do.
Provable that the Earth is not flat.
What shape is it then?
Okay.
What is it then?
Just give me a moment.
I do not know, but one thing
is spherical.
It is not a rotating sphere.
Perfect.
There you go then. You're a flat
Perfect, Brian. We heard you. Brian, we heard you.
Gotcha.
Tusk, go ahead, Tusk.
Okay, Brian. Okay, then. So you're saying the Earth isn't flat. Yeah? That's not your position. I don't mean it's got topographical features. It's not a flat plane as described in mythology. Is that what we agree on that? Yeah?
Yes.
Okay. So it could be any other shape but a sphere.
No, I think we can eliminate a cube. We can eliminate a pyramid.
How can we eliminate a cube?
Because we don't see any 90-degree seas, do we? Or Earth dropping away at 90 degrees.
Okay, so
Can we eliminate a flat disk then? Can we eliminate that?
Yeah, okay, so it's not a cube, okay? It's not a triangle, it's not a rhombus, it's not a dodecahedron, anything that's got flat surfaces, right? We agree on that. It's not like a Dungeons and Dragons 20-sided dice, okay?
Got something.
Can we eliminate a flat infinite plane? By flat, I mean we have topography. Yes, we have topography. Can we eliminate a flat infinite plane that it goes forever?
Don't know. It isn't.
Okay.
Could I ask a clarifying question?
Okay, right, Brian. Okay. Go ahead, your question.
Could I ask a question?
On,
is down the same direction everywhere on the Earth?
Good one.
Who wants to answer him?
Oh, he's asking you.
He's asking you.
Yeah, we want to know from your perspective. We don't want to talk about the globe. We all know how it works in the globe. We don't want to know about that.
Is down the same direction everywhere on?
How does it work on your Earth, Brian?
Yeah, to the ground.
Oh,
you say down to the ground?
Let's all point down and see what happens.
Well, let's not just say.
I'm asking you, Brian.
Very simple.
We know how it works in our model.
We'll do a test.
So you can answer his question then. You're not going to answer his question, are you?
I am. We're all
answering his question with another question.
You're proposing a test or an exercise. You're proposing something, Brian. You're not answering. You're telling us to answer ourselves. You're telling us to do an exercise in order to answer your question. Do you want to answer your question and then you propose your exercise, Brian?
Let's all point down together.
So you're not going to answer the question.
No, he's not going to.
I'll tell you what. I can rephrase it. Let's reword that a little bit better. Like J Mac has actually asked a very good question, right? So we're both in the UK, Brian, right? If I point down and somebody in Brisbane and Australia points down, is that the same direction?
Of course it is.
Is it?
Yes.
And the Earth must be flat.
How?
It's not flat. We know it's
it must
not
be.
flat.
If down's the same direction.
You know it's not flat. Okay, I've noted that.
30,000 feet, so we know it's not flat.
It must be if down's the same direction everywhere.
We all live on some sort of level surface, but it is not flat.
No, that's not
level. He's desperately trying not to admit to being a flat earther, just like fucking Bev does as well.
It's true.
If down is the same direction for everybody, then it must be a flat. Then it must be a flat plane.
I got a comment.
Some sort of level-ish surface.
No, not level, not
Hold on, Todd.
It's not.
They're synonymous. They're synonymous.
100% it is not flat.
Guys, if I don't read the super chat that they come in that I related to the topics that we were talking about, I'm not going to get more super chats, and I want to get more of those. So please give me a chance. And this is the biggest super chat today. It's $20 by Extra J. Shout out to Extra J. Brian Mavett, the guy who builds race cars but doesn't know what an RPM is now an expert on motion? Sorry, Brian, I don't believe you. Shout out to Extra J. Boom. Does RPM stands for ridiculousness per minute? Ridiculousness per minute? Shout out to Extra J. Thank you for the 20.
Mind if I ask Brian a quick question?
No.
Great. So, Brian.
Please don't mind not getting an answer.
Okay, so Brian,
How much we got so far?
Somebody in England and somebody in Brisbane, Australia can point down and it's the same direction, right?
Yes.
Great. So if they point up, is that the same direction?
Yes.
Are they pointing at the same star?
Who said they were pointing at a star?
If they're pointing up, are the same stars right above them?
I don't know. can't be at two
Yes, you
places
do.
at once.
Yeah, you do.
So he can't answer honestly, and we know it, and he knows it.
Can't
All
be
right.
in two places.
That's
at
how
once.
easy it
How
is to
would I
destroy
know?
your entire argument, Brian.
Yep.
How would I know if I can't be in two places at once?
You don't have to be in two places at once. You could try it here and then go to Australia and see if you're pointing up at the same stars.
Yeah. You can have a body.
At the same
You
time
can have a
of year.
mate.
Who knows what the fucking stars are?
You can have a mate pointing.
There we go. And there we go. This is the new Bevtard flat Earth argument through and through. I don't want to answer it, so I'm going to say I don't know, and neither do you.
You
well,
don't.
what I can do
Oh, yeah,
is
but we
where's
do.
Wally?
You live
Where's
in
Wally lives in
Fantasyland,
Australia,
all
and
of
he
ya.
has a telescope, and I have the capability of controlling his telescope. So what I can do is I can run his telescope and point it in one direction, and I can run my telescope and I can point it in one direction. I can take both telescopes and point them straight up. So according to you, under your logic, the stars that are directly above that telescope will match up with each other. That's easy enough to test. Would you like to do that, Brian?
Pretty impossible, as one will be in day and one will be in night, won't it?
Depends on the time. Depends on the time.
Day and night, was that a bit of a clue?
Yeah,
Well, there's dusk and there's dawn, so you know it's not just day and night.
Okay, let's. I've got to get to bed now. Let's finish this.
Yeah, sure you do. At half
For
past.
you-
eight,
Yeah,
you've got to
that's,
go to bed.
how a coward runs away.
Run away,
Well
Brian.
done, son.
Go on.
8:30.
Yeah.
I've
Past
got to
eight,
go to
Brian's
bed.
got to go to
I've
bed.
got to be up at work at 2
You're-
All right.
Oh,
Let's give Brian
shit.
let's give Brian the chance to, so we can wrap up.
I've got to be up at 2 o'clock in the morning.
Remember, you got a few minutes. You're gonna hang out for a few more minutes, but this few minutes is back and forward. Talk and let talk. Let's do it.
Right. Let's start again. For you to be living on a curved spinning surface, it is fundamental that you have measurements of 1, curvature, 8 inches drop in a mile of water. 2, rotations. The Earth is allegedly doing 4 rotations. You should have measurements, physical measurements of these rotations.
We do.
You have neither.
Yes, we do.
Any of them.
Yes, we do.
You live.
Yeah, actually, we
in
do.
a
I've done some of
fantasy
myself, Brian.
that they have impregnated into your brain.
All of those, Brian. You're wrong again.
There is no measurement. Of
Yes, we have. Yes, there is, Brian.
There is
guys.
no measurement of 4 rotations that the Earth is allegedly doing. So
Yes, we
what
have.
the stars do
Oh,
and
sorry,
say
sorry,
is
Brian. Brian, sorry, I'm going
Hold
to
on,
have to
Charles.
stop there.
Let him finish his
No,
1 minute.
so-
He's 45 seconds in. 15 more seconds, Brian. Go ahead.
Okay.
what the stars do and tell you is totally irrelevant unless you have got those measurements. Thank you. Good evening, gentlemen.
Okay,
Have a
Brian,
good
just
one.
before you go, you contradicted
he
yourself
left.
once again.
He's gone.
Talking about
Right.
rotation and
Left,
spin. You can't even keep your lie straight.
Yeah, he's gone. No way he was going to hang around and listen to a reply to that shite.
Nope. It kept on saying rotation isn't spin, spin isn't movement, and then talked about the rotation. 4 rotations. being
I
spin.
think-
So you're full of shit, Brian.
I think I created this to give it an example as just as like a ball going around, like me just pulling a ball, like the little video example of the tides. Everything began there, and then I give a few analogies, and I created this today. So you're welcome.
The thing I was trying to explain to Brian before he started screaming over me, because he knows exactly where I was going, is if the moon's rotating the Earth and the Earth's rotating the sun, it doesn't affect the moon's rotation of the Earth. And he knows that. So he had to scream over me, call me a liar, blah, 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 and run away, because he knows that relativity is a thing, but he doesn't understand it well enough to argue it.
Big shout out to those people that had to run for work and do stuff like Extra J. Thank you, man, for your super chat, and take it easy around there. All right, you gotta keep listening in the background. We're gonna stay another 15-20 minutes, and then we'll do a wrap up to the show. It's been a fun one today, for real.
So is that Brian's wife there, Susan?
Yeah. She's cool. I like
How can she put up with that?
her. Well,
He thinks he's weird.
I think they've been married long enough that she's quite used to his bullshit.
Oh yeah, like my partner puts up with a lot of my shit, but she wouldn't put up with me screaming at people on the internet for 2 hours every day.
Yeah, that's a little too much. Yeah, my partner dealt with me. She dealt with me well when I was a flat earther for a few years, but I wasn't the shouted, type.
Generally, and tonight is the exception. Generally, Brian doesn't get that shouty if Sue's home.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a little bit more chilled. Yeah.
It was a good
Yeah.
exception today. She was there and he was still yelling. What the hell?
Yeah.
That's painful.
Yeah.
So we've learned from Brian today that the Earth isn't flat, but it's flat.
And I learned from Brian today that rotation isn't movement.
Don't forget that. Rotation isn't movement, neither spin.
That's a few great quotes today.
It's my first experience with double speech.
Yeah, it's great, isn't it? Rotation isn't spin, spin isn't movement, but orbit is, even though orbit's rotation and spin.
I was going to ask him, but I didn't get a chance. I was going to ask him what he thought about the precession of the planets, because when you log the precession of the planets, they go in a retrograde motion for a period of time, which is something
that's
I
annoying.
Sorry,
all
don't know
you're
what the
going to get is, but we don't know what the planets,
planets
are.
are.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
So predictable.
They're
Yeah.
just lights in the sky.
It's an easy cop out. Is like it's not that, but I don't know what it is. So you can't offer anything else. So it's just a cop out. Got no
it's that,
explanation for
and you're
anything.
pointing at the same stars. We don't know what the stars are. That's utterly irrelevant. Doesn't matter what they are.
Shout out to Tusk, man. It's always good to hear you, man. You got a cool accent. Your style is cool, man. I appreciate it.
Oh, thanks. I've been trying to stay out of this flat Earth thing for a while because it's just a waste of my time.
But it's funny, man. It's entertaining.
It's fun
man.
once in a while, you know.
Exactly.
It's fun
Yeah,
once in a
it's
while.
good.
Yeah.
I was away camping and fishing for a couple of days and kind of cleared my mind.
That's good.
You know, and I
You
thought I'll come back.
you cannot get emotionally involved with it, like personal. No. You just gotta just go with it and have fun with it. Fuck it.
There's only a couple of people in the flat Earth side that I absolutely will not engage with at all, just because they're so deeply unpleasant. Brian's just a clown, a loud one, but a clown nonetheless.
I say, were you? Oh, sorry, Jose. Go ahead.
No, just really quick. There's a few people that is not worth talking to. I give you two examples: Pete Shea and John Bernard. It's just not worth it. They have nothing to offer. They just got one is just rambling nonsense like he knows everything. The other one is just rambling nonsense as nobody knows anything. It's nothing. It's just no. I mean, there's no discussion. There's no topic. It's just two weird guys rambling nonsense.
Maybe it's not far behind, my friend.
Sorry, Blue?
I said maybe it's not far behind those two.
I've never really found anybody in the flat earth that was truly interesting to talk to. Most of them, are just kind of like talking to a kid.
I still insist before I give you the mic for a toss. I still insist the most interesting person for me to talk to, which Farmer's Boy wholeheartedly disagree with me, is Lemon Bird. Because Lemon Bird can make shit up in the spot and he got answers for everything, even if they make no sense. I mean, it's just my brain process, if I say, is just so entertaining to listening. And then when he is explaining me these things, I can picture it in my mind, this magical, fantastic word that make no sense. Is of fantasy. Is amusing to me.
He's a random word generator.
The thing about Lemon Bird is, coming from a position of ignorance, competence looks like genius, and people think he's an absolute genius, but he's talking absolute shit.
Yeah,
it is
that's
utter
true.
shit.
Yeah,
and it's sad that there are people out there that are more ignorant than him, that think he's a genius.
Yeah, that takes some doing.
If the world was like Lemon Bird described it, it'd be a fantastical, magical world, man.
It'd be fucking scary.
It'd be so
be a
fucking
scary
tricky.
place.
Yes, so many optical illusions around. You couldn't even walk, on it, oh man, it'd be freaky.
It'd be like
fucking
the world
dangerous.
unmade and remade every few seconds. It'd be terrifying.
Oh man, I love it.
I'll give Lemon Bird his their due. I don't know what their pronouns are. I'll give Lemonbird their due. I have never in my life met anybody who can talk such utter shit with such confidence and never miss a beat.
Yeah, takes some doing, doesn't it?
It's amazing. I think he must have like what was a Deepak Chopra generator in front of him.
Yeah, it's
Click,
quite,
click,
quite
click,
literally.
click,
It's
click,
like
click, click, click.
yeah, it's quite literally. It's a button. Like as soon as he hears the question, before, in fact, even before you've finished asking the question or making the statement, he's already given his answer, which is just a jumble of words. So it's almost like he's got a button on his head, like for the word generator. Just like clicks it and it just comes out.
That's the genius of the man. The answer
yeah.
he gives bears no relation to the question you asked. Ever.
I got two shout outs. One for Insider. Can I please restart the stream because he missed the start? Yeah, I'll make a start in 15 minutes. Hang in there, man. And then you refresh the page. It will begin from the beginning.
No worries, Insider. I've got another bottle of wine in the fridge, so yeah, I'm good to go.
And then hold on. He's asking that if you guys are aware, are you guys aware of Dale in Delaware? Shout out to hold on. That's good Pichet impersonation.
The tree of life has been revealed as above, so below. Aristarchus. Show your fucking face. There you go.
Yeah, it wouldn't take much. It wouldn't take much. It would take maybe 6 or 7 minutes before he started talking about peace and calm and drinking and shit like.
Oh yeah.
Disgusting.
He's still like that over in the Gems, isn't he? When he comes in of an afternoon and just
Yeah.
You think, oh dear, it's Peter Clock. I don't know what's worse, Peter Clock or Merle Hour.
There's times when I've logged on to have a look in the morning, say about 10 or 11 o'clock my time, and I've listened maybe for 15 minutes, and I've come back in the evening, like 8 or 9 o'clock at night, and it's still going, and it's still him talking.
Yeah.
And you ask everybody else, and note he's been here the entire day, and it's just all been him, Pete Shea all day long.
Yeah, and Pete will say, okay, Pete's had enough, now somebody else talk. It's like, well, you can't. Because if you don't mute Pete, he won't stop.
No.
Shout out to Hold On, man. I know I butchered that one time. If you can imagine Pete Shea when he's talking after 5, 6, 10 hours, you can imagine him like with the eyes closed, with all kinds of boogers in the eyes, and just rambling, like shaking the head and peas drooling all over his nose and mouth.
Oh, don't, please. Oh,
that's how I picture him anyway.
Yeah.
It could be midday and he would look like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's 24/7 for him, isn't it?
It must be I don't know. It must be a terrifying world they live in where everything's a lie. Everything's a conspiracy and they don't know anything, but they know everything's not what they think it is.
I think that's why they're all so angry. I mean, I guess
if you look at the makeup, like the demographic of flat earthers, it tends to be single middle-aged men. A terrifying world they live in where everything's a lie of them.
No, I'm not sure about that. I think they're kind of in their 20s and early 30s.
Is 52 middle-aged?
Yeah, between 40 and say 65.
Oh shit! I'm right. I'm right in that demographic. Then I am that age, and I am single. Well, divorced.
I was worried for a second because I fit in the previous definition.
Kind of lonely middle-aged men are overrepresented in the flat Earth.
Kind of what?
Well, I'm not a flat earther.
So I think they're just generally angry people because
they are
at some
angry.
point in their life they've fucked everything up, and this is what they've got left.
Yeah. I still haven't recovered since my flat earthers days. Completely. I mean, I've mentally recovered, but not physically. Everything I went through, I still haven't recovered yet.
Gary's back.
Yeah, he's been here for a while.
Yippee. God did it.
Okay, I had a question earlier. I would like to ask that really quick to Gary. Oh, here's the question. I found a question, Gary, that was asked earlier and you were out. Why do you think that angles are made of rubber bands, Gary? That was by Ventilite.
I don't answer dumb questions. If he wants to give you $5 or whatever for that, that's fine.
Ben the Light, £5, bro. It's more than it's $5. Yeah. Shout out to Ben the Light, man.
Whatever it is, who cares?
Do you think angles are made of rubber bands? Why? Why is that?
No, he just uses rubber bands in all his videos. That's all to demonstrate literally everything.
But it actually is a good question, man. Troll responsibly, man. Troll responsibly. That's good. Appreciate that.
Apparently, you can use a rubber band to represent an angle, but not a force.
Do you guys see the temperature that I shared? The temperature yesterday, it was like 110 plus degrees over here.
No, it wasn't. You put it in the sun.
I put it in the sun for a little bit, yeah. But there's me that sometimes I stand outside in the sun for an hour, just pulling little, cleaning the yard and stuff. There's people working around in the sun for an hour. I put that machine outside in the sun for an hour, and that's the
if it's out in the sun, that's still the temperature. Yeah.
Huh?
Exactly. Yeah, if it's out in the sun, it's still the temperature, right? Yeah.
That's it, yeah. And this was the temperature. Look at that. It's over 110 degrees, man. It was just hot.
If you put it in your car, it would be higher, I guess.
It would be, yeah. Like right now, I'm sitting where I'm sitting at. I'm actually not gonna tweak with it. I'm gonna turn on my camera so you see there's no trick. Hold on, let me share that. Right now, I got the temp. What I got the setup over here is. So I got right here in the front of me a little fan which is blowing hot air from the outside, and then right here, like almost directly behind the fan, I got this. And look, it's almost 100 degrees. It's not outside, so it's fair to say that is. Can you see it with the glare? It's just hot. It is hot out here, man.
Yeah, you said it's 98 yesterday.
It says, yeah, when I like right now, it says it's 91 degrees Fahrenheit here in Largo, Florida. This doesn't say that it's 91 degrees. This is more than 91, and it feels like more. And I got a breeze. I got a fan blowing in my face right here, even though it's hot air, but still, it's not like it's stale, So it's fucking hot, man.
I just noticed something, Jose. You've got the same microphone boom as me. I've just noticed. Exactly the same, I think. Yep, it is.
Isn't that the same one we all got from Amazon for like 27 quid?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah. I just looked at it. It's actually exactly the same as mine too.
There you go. Yeah.
There you go. Now we're back.
Lost him again. Can't hear you, Jose. Can't hear you.
We're back. Anyway.
Lost you twice.
Yeah, I know. When I moved the laptop, I lost the Ethernet cable because now my laptop, a new issue that gave me is not the laptop, but it's the internet cable. It lost the little clippy leg in the bottom, and it just broke, so the cable doesn't stay in. So I put it in, and I got a little piece of tape. So right now my laptop doesn't work. The touch screen doesn't work. The letter K almost. The plus and equal sign doesn't work. Some keys in the keyboard don't work. The battery is gone, doesn't work. And the cable is actually all mutilated, all cut up. And now we got the internet cable not working, but it's okay. Still working. But still, the show must go on.
You would be a wonderful Russian tank crew.
Show must go on. It's duct tape what I got over here, so I'm good. I just moved it too much. Fiddle with it too much. Sticky putty. Shout out to the frogs, man. Frogs everywhere.
Did you know duct tape saved 2 Apollo missions? Did you know that?
No, I didn't know that, but I know the duct tape have helped the ISS.
Yeah, it's helped the Apollo moon missions as well, twice.
Love it.
If you watch Pain of Progress, I think it's season 3. There's a whole episode on about the origins of duct tape.
Is there?
Who invented it and why?
Oh, right, okay.
It was actually the Navy during World War II. It was a way of keeping ammunition cases closed and waterproof, but easy enough to get off and when needed. It was a sailor's mother who invented it. Cloth tape.
So the duct tape is one of the best tapes that you can use for multi-use. Now the glue, for glue, will it be the Gorilla Glue? Will be one of the best
It's still Loctite super glue.
Loctite.
Yeah, Gorilla's glue is very, very good, I must admit.
Very good. And between Loctite and Gorilla Glue, yeah.
Yeah.
Because I got a Gorilla duct tape there. I think they couldn't get better than that.
The original duct tape's better.
Yeah, I tried the Gorilla tape. I don't think it's any better than the original duct tape, to be honest with you. It's probably about the same, but Gorilla glue is pretty good. I've used that a lot.
Right.
We have a kind of saying in the UK, your toolkit should consist of 2 things, duct tape and WD-40.
WD-40, that's right, yeah.
If it moves and it shouldn't, duct tape. It doesn't move and it should, WD-40. That's it. That's your entire toolkit.
That's it. Yeah.
All right. Should we do a round of final thoughts and get out of here for the day? It's been a fun, entertaining show. Very diverse and very helpful to me, guys. Thank you so much for the super chats and the PayPal hits. I am able to, as soon as I hang up here, I'm going to grab my phone and pay my electric bill. I appreciate it very much. And I know I got a few dollars just start accumulating for the end of the month or the upcoming month. So that's good. And I'm glad that I was able to keep you, all of you in the Discord server and in the YouTube chat box out of trouble because you were at least alert, participating in the chat box, and you were just staying out of trouble as being out in the roads and in bars and getting into fights and all that kind of shit. Now, if you're driving, remember, never flirt and drive. It's very important. Let's do some final thoughts. We will begin with Chaik.
Yeah, very good show. We had Brian, we had Gary. Pretty good shit show. I missed those. Thank you.
Yes, indeed, I concur. Thank you very much. Dr. Bob in the house. Dr. Bob, you try it again, man. Your final thoughts. We'll get back to Bob. Farmer's Boy, what do you think?
Well, that was an entertaining shit show, wasn't it? Mabbit being Mabbit and Gary being, well, obviously eating his microphone, so he couldn't really understand what he had to say. No great loss. And I didn't hear what Lemon had to say, strangely enough. But yeah, that was a lot of fun. Obviously, yeah, the Earth isn't flat, but it's not a sphere either. And it moves without moving. And I don't know. I think I need another glass of wine. Thank you very much, Jose.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thurston is asking, why is the shadow growing? Splat. Shout out to Thurston. J-Mac, final thoughts.
I'm so glad we were able to confirm today that Brian Mabbit is a flat earther. There's no question about it now. Although we should realize it's impossible to argue these things with Brian because he's already made up his mind and no facts will penetrate. So thank you for the show, Jose. Good day. Thanks.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it a lot. We have new person, Jacob. Jacob, do you have some final thoughts for us? A message for the audience? You want to test mic check? No? Okay. Matt, M2M. Final thoughts. It was a fun one today, yeah?
Yeah. What I could say really, trying to explain the very basics of orbital mechanics to Brian or get him to understand it is a bit like Brian Cox trying to explain the intricacies of quantum physics to a village idiot. That's really the only thing, and it's quite a painful process. So, but he doesn't want to understand. It's quite clear. So, yeah, that's it really.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Tusk! It was always cool to hear you, man. What are your final thoughts today?
It's always good to be here. Thanks for having me. Yeah, just to further to what was just said, the internet is a village and the flat earthers are the village idiots. Unfortunately, we've opened the door and invited them in.
Yeah.
Well, it's a laugh though, isn't it?
Thank you. Shout out to you, man. Hold on, he's contemplating on changing his name to Moron. Any thoughts? Shout out to Hold On.
Careful, hold on. Some people might know you as that already.
Yeah. Dr. Bob, are you back for final thoughts? All right, we'll get Gary Way Benga and we'll get out of here. Final thoughts.
I now have a new understanding of the globe model, that everything is hung together by strings and twirled around in various methods and ways, and none of it works.
Except when it
Thank you
does.
very much. Thank you very much. Welcome to JG Earth. Welcome to the cult, everybody. The globe cult says goodbye, everybody. Boom.